Hello, hello. Greetings. Welcome, the big SXE. Nice to have you here for the first time. How you guys doing, noble ones? The new Italian Overwatch hero? Oh, I know. We're gonna react to that. Absolutely. Absolutely. I've got it here on my tabs. Just finishing to assemble the tabs. Actually, just finished my training session. So I may look a little roughed up. Welcome, Roxanne Havens. Great to have you here. Join the live stream. It's going to be a great live stream. How's Twitch, by the way? Looking great. Already got a subscriber at tier 1. Thank you, Hippozilla. Appreciate that. Sorry to hear that, but I appreciate that that you're here. Hey, Nicholas. Let me 1 second. Okay. I hope you guys are doing well this wonderful evening. Thank you, Amit Yanuka. You say hello from Israel. Hello back to you. Hope you're doing well. First live. Quite a few people say it's first live. I don't know if that's a good thing. Is that a good thing? It's like the... If you ever have Ray Gonzalez, thank you so much for supporting the stream with 5 Metatron gift memberships. I really appreciate that. And these are the 5 people that got a membership for free. That's lovely. So good to have you here. So good to have you here, guys. So, like, it's not like I understand how this stuff works anyways. I've got, like, 5 channels on YouTube. We might talk about those, actually, today. Give you some links. And then I'm active on X. I'm active on Twitch. I'm active on Kick. I'm active on Patreon. I'm literally, like, everywhere. But it's not like I know how all this social media stuff works. I haven't got a clue. I just do stuff. And sometimes things work. And sometimes they don't. That's me. But what can I say? Hello from Texas. Hey, Tom Ray. So good to have you here. So, guys, today we have a lot. We have a lot. It's gonna be an intense stream. We've got a lot to cover. A lot of things to do. Always freedom for Kaya. But it's fantastic to be here with you guys. Holy moly, man, what a start. What a beginning of a stream. Otis sent 10 Metatron gift memberships. Look at all these good people receiving gifts. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate your support. Thank you. You guys are always awesome. By the way, while we're doing this, while we wait for a few more people to arrive before we start into the actual topic for today, I've got something I need to do. You know what that is? I'm actually making an eBay purchase, and I'm ordering a console. Now, what will be interesting to do is to see if you guys can guess what console I'm getting. So come on. Come on. Show me the fiber of your fabric. What do you think? What do you think am I getting? I'm buying a console right now. Right now. While you guys guess, I want to place my order. Because, I mean, such is life. There it is. There it is. And I got an offer, so I'm going to buy it a little less expensive. All right, let's see what we've got. Let's see what guests we've got. Maybe I need to reduce the music a little bit. Okay. So what are you guys guessing? Super Nintendo, already have it. Dreamcast, PS3, PlayStation, Steam, okay. Switch. There are a lot of guesses. Sega Genesis. No one is guessing it. No one is guessing it, man. That's amazing. I might actually buy it before you even guess it. That's amazing. In television, no. Man, no one is guessing it. Look at that. That's wonderful to see. And I got an offer, so I'm getting a discount. Atari GameCube, nope. It's actually one that I miss, and I'm buying it because I need it for a comparison on my gaming channel. Steam Deck, nope. Oculus, nope. Atari, no. No one is guessing. NES, no, already have it. Mega Drive, nope. Game Boy, already have it. PS2, man, you can't guess it. How do you not know? Neo Geo, that's a very good guess, actually. But no, eventually. I don't have one because I'm not a millionaire, but eventually. You know, it would be nice. VIC-20, already have it. Game Gear, no. Man, you guys said every single console. That's amazing. You guys, let me see what people on Twitch, maybe people on Twitch can guess it. Neo Geo, no. Commodore 64, I don't think you guys are ever gonna, gonna stop boiling us. I don't know what to tell you. Nobody's guessing it. Nobody's guessing. Boom, got it. Will, great guess. Master System. That's what I'm getting. I'm ordering a Sega Master System right now because I need that to make an NES Master System comparison. Because that's what I do. Retro. It's not even retro. It's actual vintage, actually. Because retro is usually, the way I understand it, is when. But yeah, good guess. Good guess. Good guess, guys. It is this one, actually. I want to show you. It's going to be this one here. So it's inbox. It's inbox Sega Master System. I think it looks really good. The conditions as well. So yeah, and the camera doesn't agree. So there we go. So that's what I'm ordering for a video. But thank you for trying to guess. Thank you for trying to guess. And yeah, it's going to be nice. Let me place the order and then we start talking. Review the offer. Go to checkout. Make counter offer. What am I, Chinese? Go to the checkout. Let's do it, guys. PayPal. Ship it and address. Everything good? Confirm and pay. Yeah, let me confirm and pay. Let's go. Let's do it. It's confirming. Don't be a muppet. Ordered confirmed. Order. Can't even speak. Order confirmed, guys. I just did it. I just did it live. Isn't that amazing? Is that a licensed Sega machine? Of course it is. Yeah. Yeah, of course. Of course it is. So, how you guys doing? How you guys doing tonight? I need to show you some of the stuff we've got planned for tonight. In the meantime, though, I should probably also check the quality of the stream. So I'm going to do that, actually. 1 second. Stream, excellent connection. Okay, well, I might actually multi-stream on Kick as well. Because right now we are multi-streaming on this channel, YouTube and Twitch. But I might actually start multi-streaming on Kick as well. Because I usually do triple stream. So, I mean, why not? I do have a lot of tabs, though, so I don't know if that's actually a good idea. Maybe I shouldn't. You know what? Let's keep it Twitch, YouTube for tonight. It's more important. It's more important. So, anyways, let me show you what we've got. So, what we've got tonight, we're gonna look at this. Overwatch 2 has announced. Overwatch 2 has announced a new hero, ladies and gentlemen, a new hero, and it's Italian. She's Italian. Official Vendetta La Lupa. Man, I'm probably like the only one who can pronounce that. Well, to be fair, my Spanish-speaking friends and my Portuguese-speaking friends, I think they can pronounce that one. I think I can pronounce it. But anyways, La Lupa means the she-wolf, so there is an ancient Rome connection there. There is an ancient Rome connection there, so I always appreciate that. It's always very nice. So we're definitely going to check this one out. Then, we got this channel, Top Roman Facts. I kind of like to show you what channels I'm going to review so that if you do a rewatch of this later, because I'm not going to start with this, going to look at going to chat with you a little bit, interact with chat, read super chats. That's what we're going to do at the beginning of the stream. But then eventually, I do want to do some reaction, some commentary. But I want you to see the videos immediately so they can function as a shout out to these creators. So whether I agree with them or not. So today we've got this effing little Britons. The Romans despised the ancient Britons. I can see that. I can see that. It's kind of easy to imagine considering the fact that the Romans hated everyone equally. Anyway, so Top Roman Facts, 34,000 subscribers. And I've been told that this is an actually very good video. That's what I've been told. Then, this guy, he's been sued. And if you don't know who he is, it's kind of funny because neither do I, and yet he has 13.5 million subscribers. So since it's just a 6 minutes video, and once again, I've been told that it's actually hilarious because of the comments that he had to deal with, I don't mind laughing a little bit. So I might check this one out. We then have this. So this is from a channel called Amir Odom, 753,000 subscribers. I probably destroyed the pronunciation. And I'll be fair, I know I've seen his face. I know I've seen him. Let me make sure I have the chat because I want to see what you guys are saying, by the way. So let me move the chat here for a second. So I know I've seen him. I know I see Dave is hilarious. Oh no, yeah, that guy's gonna be great. So anyways, I've seen his face and I've seen him make videos. Maybe I've watched some shorts from this creator, Amir. And usually I'm like, yeah, Amir is good. Amir is good. So apparently he decided to react to the most viral Nick Fuentes clips. And I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued, one, because the guy is, for what I could see, this guy is quite based. Like so I'm interested to see how he's going to react to some of the most viral clips from Fuentes. Because if there is anyone who's going to be able to, I think, keep composture, keep what's the expression? Keep it together, reacting even to the most controversial topics, might be this guy. So I'm actually really interested, also because he's black, among other things. So I want to see what he's going to say. I'm interested. So there's that. Then we're going to react to this gentleman here. Well, to be honest, it's Naxanor, and we have checked him out already. He's friend of the channel at this point, friend of the channel. And I don't know, I'm kind of interested also because this connects to a broader topic, which is the topic of the Epstein files. Composure, thank you. He can keep his let me say that again. He can, and as far as I understand, he can keep his composure. If there is anyone who can keep his composure, it's gonna be him. Thank you. Okay, so appreciate for you enhancing my English. Really appreciate that. Anyways, so what I'm interested in is because this connects to the Epstein files. And to be honest, I don't know where you stand with that, and I kind of want to know what you think in the community about the Epstein files. But as far as I'm concerned, I am one of those who's like, release that shit, release everything, burn everyone who is connected to it. Doesn't matter. High-end Democrats, high-end Republicans, whoever the heck it is, just show us everything. I'm one of those. Okay, so I'm kind of curious because this apparently connects to that. I haven't watched the videos, but I do know that the Blue Jew is based. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. As I say, tonight is going to be the night, my friends. Tonight is going to be the night. Yeah. Then I have this gentleman. If you know him from the language community, he is an Englishman, and his content is usually pretty hilarious, but also on point. And he's going to talk about medieval English, London, 1399. So that's interesting. We will then, the last thing we're going to approach, hopefully we'll have enough time because I've got a lot of things to talk about. See, my title wasn't clickbait. But then, apparently, Disney is getting backlash because of, open quotes, disgusting, heterosexual, breeding propaganda. I swear. I've seen it all. At this point, I'm going to say, guys, we have seen it all. We've seen it all, guys. I don't know what to tell you anyways. Before we jump into all of these awesome, fantastic topics, I kind of want to interact with you, with chat. So I'm going to put a little bit of a relaxing Oblivion background. I want to bring the chat back. Both of them. Let them speak. Let us all share our minds with the power of freedom of speech and the First Amendment. Thank you so much, Dreamheart, for subscribing at Tier 1. I really appreciate that. What do you guys think? We've got a lineup. You love Nux? Yeah, Nux is great. Hippozilla. Watch streak reached. Holy moly. 3-stream streak. Man. He never misses one. He never misses a stream. That's insane. I know. I'm sorry. What exactly? Yeah, we'll get to it. Absolutely. Really appreciate for subscribing, guys. Really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Nobody hates the BBC like we Brits. Oh, yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Holy moly, Robert Silva. What are you doing? Making my stream successful. People might hate you for that. You sure you're ready for the backlash? W in chat. Noble ones for Robert De Silva dropped $100. Is that the Benjamin? Is that what it is? Is it Benjamin? The Benjamin? Thank you so much, Robert. I really appreciate that. You're the man. Incredible donation. Fantastic start to the stream. Wife is going to love it. when I tell her. But thank you so much, guys. Really appreciate that. Thank you, Robert. W in chat for Robert. Maximum level reached. Yeah, it was Benjamin, right? The Benjamin. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Also, Ray Gonzalez, WTF, did you just read about Disney? I know, man. We'll get to it. We will absolutely get to it, my friend. Disgusting to be normal. Yeah, I know, man. I know. What is it with these things? How is Sicilian pizza so different from the major Italian pizza? Well, you know, there isn't a major Italian pizza. Each region does it differently. Now, the superior pizza is in Naples. Doesn't matter what anyone else says. Superior pizza is in Naples. But Sicilian pizza is really good. Definitely better than Rome pizza on an average. On average. We're talking average. So, is that the Elder Scrolls Oblivion? Yeah, that's Oblivion, all right. That is Oblivion, all right. We'll keep Oblivion usually as a background when we read chat. That's what we usually do because it's a good practice. Because it's a good practice. And it's a based thing to do. I'm still in shock for the $100 super chat, by the way. That was insane, man. It's kind of cool that it's red. Like, I can see there is color coding when it comes to the super chats, right? And then I can see why red is like, boom, in your face. Boom. I don't even know if you could super chat more than that, to be honest. I don't know if that's the limit. I haven't got a clue. I do my super chat sometimes too, you know, when I'm visiting someone else's stream. Sometimes I'll super chat. Often I'll super chat, you know, just supporting each other as creators. I think is always a nice thing. Naples pizza is best. Milan, not so much. You can get some good pizza in Milan as long as the guy in the pizzeria is from Naples. Boss Ross, thank you for the $50, man. 50 for the cause. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. So generous. You guys are amazing. You guys are like number one subscribers. Unbeatable. Undefeatable. Thank you so much, man. That's so generous of you. Really appreciate that. You live in Rome? Yeah, I mean, no, that's what I mean. Like, there are some places that it's good, but there are a lot of places that is really bad in Rome. It really depends where you go. Sicilian pizza is superior, whether you agree or not. Doesn't matter. I mean, you're free to disagree. And my cousins from Corleone are free to visit you. So I'm just saying. My uncle wants to know your location. Oh, on that note, I actually need to show you something really funny. Because I had what viewers called a Sicilian slip, not a Freudian slip, a Sicilian slip, because something happened during a video, and it wasn't a live stream, it was a video recording, but I just left it in because it was too funny. So I'm going to show you after I read this super chat. Gilded Poo. I have been subbed since 2016, bro. Hey, thank you so much, man. And it wasn't until this stream that I realized that at some point I was unsubbed by YouTube. DF YouTube. You know, you're bringing up a very important point. If you check my Social Blade right now, you'll see that it says that I lost 10,000 subscribers. Now, I'm not sure if it's accurate or not. In my YouTube analytics, it actually tells me I lost 3,000. In fact, 2,600 in the last 30 days. And the reality is that every time I upload a video, regardless of the topic, I lose subscribers. I personally think that a lot of people are being unsubscribed without them knowing. I do understand that there are some people that don't like the type of topics that I choose to cover. That's fine. But that's not everyone. 100%. And you know how I know? Because what he just said. What, I've been subscribed for so long and YouTube unsubscribed. You know how many people have been telling me in the comments? I've had hundreds upon hundreds of comments. So please, if you're watching this, check your subscription status. I really appreciate that. What game are we playing? I'm not even sure if we can play, my friend. I don't know if we have enough time. If we have enough time, I found an anomaly game about making sandwiches. And I'm very intrigued. So if we have enough time, later on the video, we might play. Stream, not video. But we'll have to see. Yeah, there we go. See, I was subscribed for around 7 years. I was genuinely unsubbed from you around 30 days ago. Yeah, I know. Resubbed, by the way. Really appreciate that. Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. Because you came out as conservative. Well, you know what? It's not the first time that I say that I'm right-leaning. It's not the first time that I say that. And besides, it's kind of funny because usually my haters accuse me of having an entire audience of alt-right and far-right people. it's not true. Like, I know there is a significant chunk of the audience that is conservative, but I also have, it's quite mixed. I also have people that are left-wingers, but they're open-minded, you know, they're open-minded. I got centrists, I got all people that are apolitical, not everyone. But anyways, it's funny because if my haters were right, and my entire community was full on, like, they have 99%, they're all far right, then why are they unsubscribing when I come out as a conservative? What? How does that work? No, I know that some people, they don't like maybe some of the directions. They don't like my freedom of expression. Here's what it is. Or they don't like that. They're not interested in the content. That's fine. I can respect that. That's fair. But then again, when I get hundreds upon hundreds of people telling me, hey, I was unsubscribed. What the heck? I love your channel. And then I'm sorry, but that doesn't jive. Doesn't jive. So yeah. Have you seen the Muppet animation of yourself? No, I haven't. Where can I find it? Where can I find it, my friend? Where can I find it? Christus Rex. Amen. Let me see. How are we doing here? You can super chat up to $500. Goodness gracious. I mean, you have to be filthy rich to do that, to be honest, though. So basically, that's like whale territory. That's whale territory. Because if someone isn't rich and they start like gifting me $500, I'll tell them, brother, I appreciate the thought, but don't do that. Like, unless you're wealthy. If you're wealthy, then that's different. That's basically, yeah. But anyways. Cool stuff. Cool stuff. Martin Lawrence, I don't know if you have ever done music reactions, but you should check out Faraya Faraj. I am aware of her. I don't do music reactions because usually they get copy claimed. His recent Legio, of him, sorry, but then I'm not aware. Legio 5th Macedonica was fire. I'll check it out. I'll absolutely check it out, but I don't do reactions to music videos. When you and Shadow are having a duel, I guess when he stops pretending of Australia existing and actually tells us he was a British guy all along, somewhere in like Essex. They're all paid British actors. We all know that. You can't hear the music yet because I lowered it. I'll increase it again. I made it really low. I'm always like, I've been like burnt. I've got PTSD from having playing a whole game with the music that was too high, and then I can't use the playthrough on a video. Yeah. Wouldn't Roman villas be cold to live in since they're marble? I mean, Roman villas in Italy are not going to be that cold anyways because it's Italy. But in general, even if you have a villa in the north and it gets cold, which it does, you can turn on a fire. And besides, not even that, but the Romans, the rich ones, they had I know this is going to blow your mind, but basically they had liquid heating systems with warm water that would travel underneath the floor, so that whenever you walk, the floor will be warm. That's a thing in Roman villa. Also, they had heating systems with hot air that would circulate inside chambers within the walls and underneath the building to keep it warm. Like, the Romans were incredible. I actually have a video dedicated to how this works with all the details. The only reason why I haven't released it is because anything historical that I post on this channel is a disaster when it comes to the views now. YouTube has decided not to send those notifications, which is why I'm going to show you again. I still will. I will do it. But it's also why I now have this. Metatron history. So I will post the occasional history video here. But if you don't want to wait in between uploads of variety uploads, and you just want the history, only the history, then do follow me on this fourth channel to be specific. Because here, the history videos are actually doing really, really well. And the growth, I mean, I've only posted 16 videos. We're already at 14,000 subscribers. And that's all I do on this channel. Just history. Only history. There is original content and there is re-edited content. So like I use portions of older content, add new stuff, new commentary, re-edit it, change the music, improve the B-rolls, and then repost. And it's doing really well. I mean, I'm pulling 20,000 views on a 14,000 subscribers channel. So I'll give you a link if you're interested, because the way the system has treated the main is insane. I'll be honest with you. There we go, you see? Chubbs, hello, progressive leaning center-left Metatron viewer here. We exist, I know. I denounce extremist political violence on all sides. Based. A debate can only truly be won with words and ideas. And you, my friend, are the kind of left-wing person that I don't have a problem with, obviously. So, glad to have you here. Anyways, boom. Here is the, if you want to support that channel, guys, I really appreciate, because I post a lot. And I'm going to continue to post. In fact, this video, if we hit 15,000, I will post this video about Roman thermal practices in their homes. It's already filmed. Holy moly, Michael, the dad, Crosby, W in chat. $100 Benjamin. Benjamin is back. Man, W in chat from Michael, really appreciate that. Loving your stuff. A bit sad it took Charlie to get people fully out of the closet and commenting on society, but glad it's happening. I'm also a huge history buff. Thank you so much, my friend. I think a lot of us were hit by what happened to Charlie Kirk, not only at a human level, but also because, I'm going to be honest with you, there is a lot of it for me, and thank you again for the support. For me, a lot of it is just pure, simple compassion. I felt compassion towards him, the wife, the children. But the other reason is a little selfish, I'll admit it. It's because, to be honest, it could have been me. And the widow being made fun of now by the likes of Kyle, whatever the heck secular talk is, the widow could have been my wife. Why? Because we say similar things. And we're both YouTubers. Now, given I don't do what he did, he was very courageous at doing what he did. Kind of this sort of Steven Crowder type of style of content. And in fact, I'll tell you this much, whoever goes out there with a microphone and speaks to the university students, I can respect that even if I don't like them. Now, I liked Charlie Kirk. You know who I don't like? Destiny. But I'll give him that. At least he had the courage to do it, even after the shooting, whereas Hamas Spiker is hiding under the shockman, in the shock mobile. And yeah. But I'll tell you that much, I'll never do it. I will never go in with a microphone. It's too dangerous. But I do appreciate the courage that some people show. Anyways, that could have been me, my friend, and I know for a fact that there are plenty of people who would dance on my grave. So at this point, why do I care what people like that think? I don't. So, long live the martyr, Charlie Kirk, and here we are. We're trying to resurrect Benjamin Franklin with this chat, guys. This is amazing. I really appreciate the support, Michael. Thank you. Trotron Meloni. Wow, we've got the same surname as the Prime Minister of Italy. La Meloni. After learning what your name is, I guess I don't have to ask who your favorite Ninja Turtle is. Fai il bravo, we would say. But yeah, you're right. Yeah, my actual name is Raffaello, like the painter. And, of course, the best Ninja Turtle that has ever turtled. Do you think playing a video game in your target language is helpful? Absolutely. Absolutely. I picked up a lot of vocabulary both in English and in Japanese, and in fact in Mandarin, just by playing video games. When I was in Japan, living in Japan, I used to play a different game every week or so, and I would write down, I would play it in Japanese. I bought a Japanese PlayStation with like my second salary in Japan, and then, and then I would write down every time I would encounter a word I didn't know what it meant. And then the day after at work, since all my colleagues were Japanese, I would ask them, hey, what does this mean? And then they would help me with that. And then I could try and use it in a context. And it's fantastic. Yeah, it's a good way to learn. I actually have a dedicated video to that on my language channel, Metatron's Academy. Benjamin Franklin based. Yeah, tonight we got already 2 Benjamins. We got 2 Benjamins, guys. That was amazing. Appreciate that. Not really drama streamer. I'm a variety streamer. That includes drama. Absolutely. I'm not going to deny it. 100%. If there is drama and I'm interested, I'll cover it. But I don't just do drama. I do anything that, like tomorrow, I could be interested in making a video about this helmet, and I'll still do it. The day after, I want to talk about politics, I will. Then I want to talk about a movie, like I did, by the way. I just recently did a thorough analysis of the Spartacus Ashur thing. House of Usher, and it was all about history. Problem is, didn't get views. It's like I'm still trying to do the history stuff. If I played Rise, Son of Rome, I did, but like I'm talking many years ago. I don't even remember much of it. Gilded Pooh says, thank you for the support. I wasn't a fan of Charlie like at all. However, nobody deserves a bullet for simply speaking their mind. Yeah, and that's all we're asking, by the way. This is all we're asking. It's not even the bar. Couldn't be any lower. But some people still fail it. There are a few things more American than freely speaking one's own unpopular ideas. Absolutely, yeah. Ugly speech is still protected speech. And whether it's ugly or not, that's the item of debate, isn't it? Do I listen to classical music? My friend, I play classical music. 10 years of piano. 10 years of piano. I don't have a piano anymore in this house, but maybe eventually with the wife. I mean, right now, with the wife being pregnant and whatnot, we're waiting for our son. I don't think it's the right time to buy a new piano, but maybe in the future. Maybe in the future. Also, because let me tell you, American health insurance is expensive. Thank you, Max Sogorath, for subscribing with Prime. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you for becoming a member, Cole. Ray Gonzalez. Raphael is also my favorite turtle because I think he's cool. Yeah, he's like the badass one. He's badass. He has a red mask, and red is my favorite color. So blue is my favorite color. So theoretically, I should like Leonardo more, but the guy has my name, so I just can't help it. With that being said, I do objectively think that Raffaello has the coolest personality. He's a hothead, very serious. I like Raffaello. Leonardo is like the leader, right? He's wise and whatnot. So Leonardo would be my second choice simply because of the color and the fact that he uses 2 ninjato. In fact, I don't think he uses. People say he uses 2 katana. Aren't they ninjato? Maybe. My favorite composer, Rachmaninoff. Second would be Chopin. Yes. I don't play the Friscalietto. Yeah, that's the Sicilian. Yeah, no, I don't play that. Piano, 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 piano. This is a legit Italian phrase. It actually is, yes. Because piano means slow. It also means like a low volume, which is pianoforte. Basically means like quiet, loud. That's what pianoforte means. But piano can also mean a floor. So yeah, you're right. Piano means a lot of things in Italian. And of course a piano. So yeah, all of those things. What a ninjato is. A ninjato is a type of sword which... So I'm going to show you, but basically it's like a straight katana, little shorter. There is no curve. And the tsuba, so the hilt is square. Now, was it actually associated with the ninja class? No. Not that we know of. But did it exist as a historical sword? Actually, yes. So you will see people that debunk this idea of ninja had a specialized sword and they are right, it should be debunked because that would be ridiculous. Ninja are intelligence, they are spies. So can you imagine if you're a spy and you don't want people to know that you're a spy, and yet you have a sword which is literally called the spy sword? Like, it's ridiculous. Like, obviously they didn't have a dedicated, they're not like a core, they are intelligence. With that being said, then people bring it too far. They go too far and they end up creating a myth, and they say the sword never existed. But it did. Personally, I think it was a low-end, cheap sword that was kind of off the shelf. And so normally in iconography is associated with the lower rung of the military. We're talking like Ashigaru, so the infantry units. Now, is it possible that a sword like that was actually used by a real historical ninja? Oh yeah, absolutely. It could have happened. Totally. You like Donatello. I can see that. I mean, purple is a nice color. I'm not a huge fan of the bow as a weapon. Cinque Dea is a beautiful sword, like thick. I love it. Thank you, Robert Silva, for the $1 donation. Appreciate that. And thank you for becoming a member, Michael. You prefer Bach and Mozart. That's what I studied, like, the first 3 years, probably. Just Bach. So just learned the technique and quite a bit of Mozart. They're nice, sure. But I still prefer... I'm more into the romantic, like the Chopin, Beethoven, and Rachmaninoff side. Easiest way to destroy bad ideas is to platform them. I absolutely agree. Easiest way to grow bad ideas is to suppress them. It's basically what's happening with Nick Fuentes, isn't it? They're trying to cancel him all over the place, and he's getting more and more influential. That's how it's gonna, and it's like a failing strategy. I would rather sit down, talk to the guy, see what areas we agree with, like for instance everything that he says about putting America first, or like defending white people against the kind of racist attacks that only white people get. I agree with that. I would agree with him in a conversation if we had a conversation. He loses me with the Hitler stuff. But then again, it's like one of those situations where I would be more than happy to. The more you try to say, oh, don't platform him and we're going to cancel everyone who does it. Yeah, good luck with that. You're going to turn me into the next freaking president of the USA if you keep that up. Because people relate to that. Because they feel it's unjust, and so that's what happens. Nick Fuentes has bad ideas. Which ones are that aren't taken out of context? Yeah, I mean, again, we'll watch a video tonight and we'll see. But I just, it is a bad idea to glorify a dictator. That's just my opinion. He's entitled to say that Hitler was a great or that Stalin was his hero all he wants. But I will always strongly disagree with that. But I have to say that in a way, I'm also partially biased. In the sense that not only I don't like dictators, whether it be Stalin, Hitler, or Mussolini, because of the history, like meaning world history, but also because of personal history, due to the fact that my grandfather was captured by the Nazi and he was sent into Dachau concentration camp. So you understand that whenever I hear anyone say anything positive about Hitler, it's like I understand it's an emotional response, so at least I am reasonable, like aware of it. But to me, the moment I hear that, or I hear someone praising Stalin, I'm like, no, Stalin was a freaking monster. So that's me. It is what it is. Yeah. Personally, though, Casey is my favorite character overall. I can't help it, man. Which game again? Totally off topic. I noticed Iron Maiden shirt in some of your videos. Favorite album? I don't remember the name of the album, damn it. It's been too long. Even Metallica, which is like probably my favorite band. The only one I remember is freaking Master of Puppets. Is that the actual album or is it the song? And then Ride the Lightning, I know for a fact, was my favorite album. But I know that I listened, like I grew up with the freaking Metallica. I listened to Metallica for so long, and I own several. I just don't remember the names. I'm terrible. Even names of freaking songs. I don't know. I'm like, yeah, the one that goes, and that's how I remember songs. I apologize. Ink Penification, thank you for the support. Hi Metatron, how would an Italian react if you use the verb conjugation in the pronoun voi? Like come state? Also, have you decided on what language you will get fluent next after Mandarin? Okay, so voi is kind of, there are regions of Italy where they still use it. So it's for those who don't know, in Italian you have several registers. You can refer to someone with tu, which is like informal, as lei, which is formal, literally means she, but you can refer to someone like that. And then voi, which means you plural, that's also formal. It is medieval sounding though. So like in the Middle Ages, that's how people would speak. So if you watch a video or a movie or a game and they are set in the Middle Ages and they're in Italian, everyone will use that. However, in modern Italian, the only region that I'm aware of that uses voi is Campania, so Naples and surrounding. They still use it. So if you go to Naples, you will hear voi a lot more than lei, because from a Neapolitan perspective, lei, which to them sounds northern, is too formal. And in fact, voi is more formal than tu, but less formal than lei, to give you a native perspective. I find it endearing, to be honest, but if you use it somewhere else that isn't that region, the people might correct you. If you're not fluent, they might think you just don't know how conjugations work. Unless you're dressed like a knight, then it's fine. Believe it or not, that's how it is. You hear your dad speak like that? Yeah, of course. Neapolitans use it all the time. It's like their default register. Totally. My favorite Italian American. Thank you so much, Kay. I expect 8 sets of quadro... Oh my gosh, I love your work. That's a lot. I mean, poor wife. At that point. Yeah, that's me. Mezzaluna sounds pretty Italian. It is. It means half moon. I think there is some kind of pasta that is named like that, by the way. Thank you, Guile0963, for subscribing with Prime on Twitch. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Are you aware of what's happening in Brazil about the president telling drug dealers are victims and a judge being judge, jury, and prosecutor? No, I'm not aware of that, but anyone who says drug dealers are victims is an idiot. I'm just going to say that. Absolutely not. Hey, Thornton, Meloni. Wow, I really started something with a Ninja Turtle comment. Yeah, I remember me and my brother, Carmine, went to see the original movie back in the 1990s. I had the VHS for that. I know which one you're referring to. The one Ninja rap. Yeah, that's the one. Man, I loved it. I was like 14, and I would put that on repeat. I must have destroyed the freaking magnetic thing inside when going rewind and then play, rewind, and then it goes... I still have a VHS player, by the way. Still works. Amazing that this stuff still works, in fact. Buffalo. Yeah, let me make sure I didn't miss any super chats, because I don't want to be disrespectful. So let me see. So I read these, yeah. Junior Burger, thank you for the support. May you give us an update on the book and what level of language learning are you attempting to target with it? Beginner, intermediate, etc. So when it comes to the updates, I will give you an update every probably 2 weeks or so, but I don't want to make promises in the sense that I'm still waiting to reach the actual amount before I start working on it definitively. But we're getting close. We're actually getting really close to the final amount. You guys have been amazing with the support for the book and the crowdfunding. With that being said, the target, believe it or not, the way the book is structured is that it can be used from a beginner level to an intermediate to an higher intermediate. Once you hit advanced stuff, then it kind of depends on the advanced learner. But generally speaking, between beginner to upper intermediate, perfect. If you're an advanced learner, it could be helpful in the situation whereby you're really good at some things, but there are some skills that you're bad. Like you're great, you can speak really well, but you don't understand people well, or vice versa. You understand everything they say in whatever language, but you have trouble expressing yourself, or maybe you have spelling problems. You're not really good at reading or writing. Or your pronunciation, like you're fluent, but you don't, your pronunciation just can't overcome. So in that case, it could be situational depending on the skill. But the book is really based on everything that I have learned in 10 years of teaching. So it really, I think these are the two things that I believe will make the book stand out. One, it's written by me, so it's real experience that comes from 10 years of teaching, not, oh, I became an influencer and then I decided to write a book. No, I taught for 10 years and then I became a YouTuber and then I decided to draw from that experience to write a book. And that's important because a lot of people are fake it until you make it. And the second thing is that it's not an AI slop. It's a book written by a human with experience in the field. Is that becoming rare? I guess on like freaking Amazon and print on demand, yes, unfortunately. Thank you for the support. You're going to own a firearm once you gain citizenship? We already have plenty in this house, like plural. When it comes to, I think in this state, I'm allowed to have it as a legal resident. I don't think I need citizenship. I believe it depends on the states. But yeah. So yeah, no, I'm a revolver guy though. Revolver guy. Mad respect. Thank you, Amateur. I appreciate that. Thank you for being here. Any muskets? I have an arquebus, but it's not one of those that can, like the matchlock type, but it can't be fired, unfortunately. James, sir, big fan of your content. I was wondering if you know any good content creators that make your kind of content, but more Africa focused. Actually, yes. Yes, I do. What was his name? Let me see if I can remember his name. There is a content creator that is focused on African history and does a really good job, and it's not Afrocentrism or Afrocentricity, like they say. It's more correctly, whatever you want to pronounce it, doesn't matter, it's still nonsense. This guy is African and does a really good job. What the heck is his name? Let me see. You know what? Maybe I can find him this other way around. Let me see. Let me see if I can find him this way around, because I remember that I mentioned him already. So I want to see if he's here. Yeah, found him. Haha. All right, let me show you. So this is who I would suggest if you're interested in African history. You want to hear it from an African from Africa, and someone who doesn't push Afrocentricity. Check out From Nothing. The only thing, though, is that I don't know if he still posts. Oh, 2 weeks ago. Good. Yeah, he still posts. That's fantastic. You know, believe it or not, we collaborated in the past. There are some videos of mine, at least one video that we did together where he helped me with the research. So, he's good. From Nothing is good. And he gets a lot of hatred from the Afrocentrists, by the way. Just so you know. So it's nice, I think, to go and show him some support, all things considering. You know what? People accused him of being white. People accused him of being white. They're like, oh, you're white, stop pretending. Because, why? Because he does voiceovers. And so they're like, you're white. First they told him that he sounded white, whatever that means. And then they told him that... You're white, you're pretending to be black. So the guy is this guy. By the way, you can see him here. Clearly he's black. So it's like, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But yeah, no, the guy, he does good content. He does good content. I don't always agree with him, but he does the good content, and he's well motivated. So that would be the guy I would suggest for African history, to be honest. You subbed? Good. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good to hear. Good to hear. I am Italian, absolutely. That's worse than sugar? What? The fact that I'm drinking Diet Pepsi? I'll survive. I don't know, man. I'm trying to follow the example of the Roach King. How am I going to become a king myself if I don't follow the example of the Roach King? Maybe I should buy like some $2 steak. What do you guys think? $2 steak? Maybe? Can we see your guns? I can show you these guns. I can show you these guns. No, I'm not going to show any firearms on the challenge. You want to get me blocked or something? Junior Burger, thank you. Is language or history more important to you? They're just so different that it's difficult for me to pick one. Too difficult for me to pick one, sorry. Both. Yeah. My YouTube buffed and quit when you were talking about the African history guy. I'll just go back like 30 seconds. 1 minute. Go back 1 minute, you'll find it. And then you can click live again. Hail from Serbian Kingdom. Hello there, SRN. Cheers from Brazil. Hello. You know, I just made a video about Brazilian, actually. Portuguese on my language channel, Metatron's Academy. Yes, I am Sicilian. That's right. But Casumarzo is Sardinian, though. If I don't remember wrong. Yeah, I love both history and language, exactly. Hello, Curl from Portugal. Good to have you here. From Japan, Japanese. Are you actually Japanese, or do you live in Japan but are not Japanese? Just so I know. I'll have to stop showering. I don't know if I can do that, guys. I'm married.
How are you?
I think I will never be the European Asmongold, as people call me. It's kind of funny that people call me that. Oh yeah, you were also asking me what the next language is going to be. I'd like to learn something Nordic. Once I reach fluency in Mandarin, I'd like to learn something Nordic. Change completely, other side of the planet. So it was a Sardinian thing, yeah. Now for Sicily, if you like the wine, like my dad absolutely loves Sicilian wine. Nero d'Avola is an example of a famous, really good Sicilian wine. Pistacchio, and I swear if any of you says pistachio, that's an automatic ban on this channel. Sicilian pistacchio from the town of Bronte is very famous. It's another thing that is typical of Sicily. Mafia is typical of Sicily. Then another thing that is typical of Sicily is what else have we got? Panelle, that's a Palermo thing, I guess, but learn our beautiful Welsh language. The only thing I know in Welsh is Boreda, Sith Dahi, I think. Boreda, something like that. Yeah. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. He said, did you say that my Chinese is not too bad? I think that's what that means, right? That's 不错, yeah. 你的中文. I'm missing this character. I know it's an obvious basic character, but now I don't remember it. I think you're saying 你的中文 something 不错. It's not wrong. It's not too bad. I think that's what it means. 谢谢你. Would you be interested in Japanese? Would I be interested in Japanese, guys? 日本語できます。日本に住んだことがありますから、4年間ぐらい。だからもう、完璧ではないけど、日本語ができます。わかります。I do speak it already. I do speak Japanese. Yeah. Hi, Butsuo. That's right. That was hi. Thank you. Appreciate that. Appreciate. You started Romanian lessons. That's amazing. Japanese is a great sounding language. I agree. そうなんですか。はい。それとも漢字も読めますけど、まあ漢字によってね。難しい漢字は無理ですけど。Yeah. Metatron, are you into playing fantasy card games? Yeah, depending on the game. Why not? I'm into board games, role-playing games, whatever you like. Whatever you like. 出身はどこですか? Japanese sama. Penguin is a Welsh word. Really? Penguin? I had no idea because, I mean, are you sure? Really? Penguin. Wow. Would you learn German? Yeah, I wouldn't be against it. Ray Gonzalez, wouldn't language and history go hand in hand with each other? Language, culture, and history, it's all intertwined, yes. Since language changes as time goes on in interaction with the outside world, it just seems as if you're interested in one, but you would... Yeah, no, I agree with you, absolutely. Totally. Anno 117 gameplay when soon, my friend, very soon. Mandarin is a fruit. That is true. It is a fruit and it's also 普通话. It's also 普通话.
Good morning.
Quit that spaghetti talking. Sure. Spaghetti's good though. Spaghetti is great. Spaghetti is fantastic. 長野県出身です. Oh, 長野県. Have I been? I don't know if I've been actually. Because when I was in Japan, first I lived in Kanto, so I was in Tokyo, then I moved to Yokohama, and I spent a few months there. And then, where did I move? Then I moved to Kobe, so Kansai, and then I moved around a lot when I was in Japan, to be honest. Likewise, when I was in the UK as a teenager, I lived in Wales, I lived in London, I lived in Manchester, I lived in Liverpool, I lived everywhere. So there's that. Colt or Smith & Wesson? Smith & Wesson. Probably. Well, actually, Beretta, if I can choose. But so yeah, I've been to Kyushu as well. I've never been to Hokkaido. I'd like to, and I've never been to Okinawa. Hopefully one day. That could be fun. Been watching you for months now, but I didn't know you lived here. Oh yeah, I love Japanese. I have a degree in Japanese, among other things. 日本語は専攻でした when I was a student, 大学生の時. And so no, I do speak Japanese, yeah. As I say, with the kanji, it really depends on the kanji, because there are some characters that I'm like, I haven't got a clue. And there are a lot of characters that I can read, but I can't write anymore because I'm a little rusty. But generally speaking, unless you like start telling me about, I don't know, freaking whatever it is, like unless we start speaking about really complicated Buddhist concepts, then I might not understand the kanji. But everyday conversation, like Nichijo Kaiwa, it's fine. And then Senmon Yogo, so the technical terminologies where sometimes my Japanese becomes a little rusty depending on the subject. But it's always fun. I mean, languages are great. Did you see the new Netflix series, Last Samurai Standing? No, I haven't. I'm going to have to write down, take notes. But thank you, Sir Dude Man, for subscribing, Tier 1. I appreciate that. Thank you for the support. I don't think I've ever watched a YouTuber, Lander. What does he talk about? Tagalog, man. I freaking love Filipino people. They're always so welcoming. Have you guys ever been... So I don't speak the language at all, but I wouldn't mind learning a word or two. My wife has a friend who's Filipino. And they're always really nice to her. Favorite metal band? Either Metallica, but I also like Stratovarius, if you're aware of them. Doing well, Sir Dude Man. Thank you so much. Oh, yeah, I see. You're Filipino, but you live in Italy. Fantastic. Yeah, as I say, like, have you guys ever been invited for lunch at a Filipino's house? It is mind-blowing. I have never seen... Of course, I've been invited a few times. And goodness gracious, I've never seen so much food in my life. In my life. I don't even know. Like, it was... They invited like 8 of us. But still, they could have fed 50. They could have fed 60. There were literal mounds of food. Mounds. I've never seen anything like it. It was great. It was great. It must be a cultural thing. Yeah, Stratovarius is what... I mean, I used to do Stratovarius epic metal whenever we play Warhammer. Even back in the day when we were playing Warhammer, that's the music. It's too much food even for you. Totally. Yeah, no, I understand. Yeah. Absolutely. We Filipino love Jesus. I love to hear that. Fantastic. I don't know anything about the Georgian language, so yeah, it's a little bit outside my field of expertise. I haven't got a clue. I don't know, honestly. So yeah. I see someone was asking me earlier on, power metal, yeah, power, epic, I love epic metal. Isn't Japanese tonal? No, Japanese is pitch-based. Mandarin is tone-based. And then our languages like English or Italian are stress-based. So, yeah, you have to be careful. And by the way, I tend to F up the pitch. Like I try to do the pitch right in Japanese. And sometimes I get it right, and sometimes I get it completely wrong. It's kind of funny, because it's difficult. I mean, it's difficult even for native Japanese, to unless you are from Tokyo. Then it gets, or in general, the East, I guess. But then again, it depends on which area. So greater Tokyo area, I suppose it's fine, pitch-wise, if you want to become a voice actor, for instance. But when it comes to, like, it's not easy. It's not easy to do the pitch right. So, yeah. Differently from tonal languages, though, usually in Japanese, even if you mess up the pitch, you'll have an accent, but you will still be perfectly understandable. So, whereas in Mandarin, if you're not careful with the pitch, with the tones, then you might end up being completely misunderstood. But when it comes to Japanese, it's kind of funny, because sometimes there are Japanese content creators and they're trying to teach you the pitch, which I'm like, cool, yeah, great, teach it, absolutely, I love it. I find it fascinating. But sometimes they're a little exaggerating, because I don't think there is anyone who's ever going to be confused on whether or not you wanted a bridge or some chopsticks when you're about to eat. Likewise, what did you gift that girl? I'm not sure on the pitch. Did you gift her flowers or did you gift her a nose? I mean, come on. It's like, it's fine. Even if you mess up, even if you don't remember what was the pitch for dog? It's inu in standard. But it's not a big deal. If you say inu, it's like, yeah, it's kind of like they say it on the West anyways. So it's not a huge problem. It's not a huge problem, to be honest. What's the difference between pitch, tone, and stress? Man, that's an entire video right there. I don't think I can cover it on a stream. They are different. They function differently. But in general, one thing I want to say is, and that's about pitch, because I think most people understand how tones work. The 4 tones in Mandarin. Ta, 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 ta. Ma, 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 ma. But although again, people mess up the third. It took me years to get the third right. Pitch, the best way to visualize it is to imagine that when you speak, whatever sound you're producing, irrespective of the consonant or vowel, is a note on a keyboard. So when you are speaking about, say, your hair or a piece of paper, your first note will be ka, and the second mi, ka mi. So low high, ka mi, ka mi. Instead, if you're speaking about God, is kami, so ka mi. So the high, it goes from high to low. Japanese is all like that. And it can be difficult. It can be difficult to get it right. As I say, I don't usually, I do mess up a lot. But yeah, that's the thing. It's good fun though. Metatron, is this historically accurate background architecture? Not really, no, it's fantasy, but it's clearly, I mean, there are some areas in Oblivion that you can tell they based them on Gothic architecture, and there are other areas that are clearly based on Mediterranean architecture. In fact, of the classical period, for whatever reasons, like the town of Anvil looks quite Mediterranean. It feels, that's where I buy my first home, usually, because it feels like home, if you know what I mean. Do you consider Malta and Cyprus Europe? Yeah, sure. Why not? Absolutely. Absolutely. Could you please adopt Kaya? I would love to, yeah. Take her away from Shockman. Shockman. This is OG Oblivion, yeah. But I'm not really playing it, it's just a background while I'm reading chat. Rumorology. In China, if you mess up the tone slightly, people generally won't even try to understand. Taxi drivers will just assume you're speaking English and won't listen to you. Lots of fun. Yeah, I mean, I can understand that. At the end of the day, Mandarin, if you're learning Mandarin, learn the tones. Otherwise, don't bother. Pick another language. That's what I say to that. Because at the end of the day, what's the point? I mean, and I see students of Mandarin sometimes say, oh, I don't bother with the tones. I'll learn them later. You will, it's like the stupidest thing you could ever do. At that point, learn Italian. Because the right thing to do is that if you're learning how to pronounce a town, a city, a place, whatever, a verb, learn the tone. It's part of it. It's not a separate entity in Chinese. You've got to pick it up. You've got to do it right. So like Beijing, Beijing. It's how it's pronounced. Or Shanghai, Shanghai, Xi'an. The towns. Thank you so much, Linda, for the 10 Metatron memberships. Man, tonight is a very successful night. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. Boo Blooper. Thanks. Random ask, but I'm American and my last name is Gallati. I've never met anyone with that last name. How would you, as an Italian, pronounce it? Yeah, like that. Gallati. My family has always pronounced it Galati. So yeah, I would double the L in the sense that I would make the sound longer. Gallati. And then obviously, yeah, pronouncing the T and the I at the end is E. It's very common, by the way, to have, like, my surname is Urbani. So a lot of surnames, Rossi is a famous one. Not all, but a lot of surnames end with an I because it makes it masculine plural, which is the default for plurality, and so I think that's why a lot of Italian surnames end with a E. It's because it makes it sound like it's a group of people, and because it's a last name, and generally speaking, it's a family name, right? That's just that's what I think. I mean, I haven't looked into the etymology of Italian I at the end, but yeah, I would say that's how I would pronounce it. If you were to get a VTuber avatar, what would it be? I mean, at the end of the day, as long as you get the hair length right, I think I'll be okay with that, whatever it is. Okay, DJ, I appreciate that. I surely will. I haven't caught your live streams before. How often do you do these? So it depends. I used to live stream a lot more, but then YouTube was kind of punishing me for it, in the sense that the regular views were going down as I was doing too many live streams. So right now, on the main channel here, I will usually go live like 3 times a month. I might step it up a little bit if I feel like I want to compensate views, because maybe the videos are not doing great, and I'll do another one. But generally speaking, so the next live stream here will probably be at the end of the month, around the 30th. I'll try to let you know. Usually I announce these on X, so if you follow me on X, or on my community tab, or post, like now it's called. They change the names all the time. And then, but then again, I also stream on Twitch a lot. And when I stream on Twitch, I just stream and I play games. And those I do a lot more often. So maybe following me on Twitch could be an idea to kind of overcome the randomness of the live schedule. Eventually, by the way, I will get into a proper schedule. It's just that it's been difficult, not only because I myself am a very spontaneous individual, and so it's difficult for me to really put myself in a box when it comes to I go live at this time, these days, but also because every time I tried to do a schedule, the system wasn't working. And so it was a problem. People weren't getting notifications and that kind of stuff. Twitch, yeah. So there's that. Am I agnostic? No. I'm just a Christian. Just a Christian. I do love Metatron though, as a name, and the angel and the 72 wings and whatnot. Tones are like, it's the way you pronounce it. You can imagine it like that every syllable has a music to it. And so like in Mandarin, in a language like Mandarin, the tone that you use for a syllable or a word will have, because I'm thinking the technical term is that it will impact its semantic field, but what that means in English is basically will change the meaning. That's what it is. So like if you say, the classic example is if you say ma, it's mother, but if you say ma is horse, and right, so it's very different. Do you have any thoughts on the historical accuracy of Gospels in the Bible? I mean, I do have I have several videos on the Bible. I don't remember if I tackled that one specifically. I mean, at the end of the day, it depends how you ask me that question. If you ask me that question as a Christian, I'll tell you absolutely Word of God. But if you ask me that question as a historian, then I'll tell you I can't prove it. I cannot prove it definitively. And so because of my faith, they are historical in the sense that these are old writings, but so they are still historical. They are real. They're historical books, and some can be dated relatively close to when Jesus was alive. But then again, can I prove beyond any shadow of a doubt that they are exactly what they are, what we tell them, what we purport them to be with historical data? No, I can't prove it 100%. So then I have to kind of compensate those two things. No, I don't believe in magic. I believe in miracles. It's different. I believe in Jesus. I believe in God. If you're going to try and make fun of me for it, go ahead. It does nothing to me. I'm a Christian, and I'm as unapologetic as it gets when it comes to that. But I don't believe in magic, no. If anything, I think in my perspective, the way God and Jesus do miracles is something that could be scientifically explained if we had the knowledge. In other words, no, I don't think that they're doing things by magic. I think that Jesus had the power to manipulate the atoms in the water in order to turn it into wine. So I don't think it's magic. Similarly, it's kind of like it's a power beyond our comprehension, but so would be our technology to someone from the Bronze Age, and they would call it magic. So yeah. So that would be my answer to that not atypical name. Anything we do, this phone is magic. If you show it to someone, don't even need to go back to prehistory. You can go back 200 years ago. People won't have a clue because they lack the knowledge. It wasn't cancerous though. I think Jesus' wine would be the best ever. Could you imagine the quality, guys? From the same being and made everything else, I'd say his wine is great. I would have loved it. Oh yeah, I'll never shy away from my religion, and neither should anyone. Likewise, if you're atheist, you shouldn't shy away from it. Anyone should have the strength to stand for what they believe in. If anyone is like, oh, if I say this, I need to be more milquetoast, because if I say this, maybe I will alienate a part of the audience. Well, it's a them problem at that point. No, I think anyone should stand for what they believe in. Fire was magic to cave people up to a certain extent, sure. I found out tomatoes were considered poison 150 years ago. Blew my mind. By some people, yeah, they were. Some Europeans, when tomatoes were first brought back from America, they were a little uncertain about it. Now, whether or not they thought they were poisonous, that might have been exaggerated a little bit. But it's, I mean, if you think about it, they didn't look anything like the wild tomatoes. They didn't look anything like the ones we have today. Likewise, have you ever seen what bananas look the way in the wild? It's crazy. It's crazy. That's why, like, there was this not popular, but in fact infamous. There was this infamous clip from like a long time ago, where this guy was a Christian apologist, but just because I'm Christian, it doesn't mean I'm going to agree with every apologist. Sometimes they're cringe. And there was this guy that was showing like the banana, the fruit, and he was like, look, God made it and optimized it in a way that can be eaten by humans. And then he made this entire discussion, and I'm thinking, man, that's not what wild bananas look like, though. That's the process of what we did to it. So it was nonsense. It was basically nonsense at that point. So sometimes there is nonsense on our side too, and we have to be real about it. We have to be able to say, I don't know. You don't have to know everything. You don't have to be able to answer every argument. Sometimes it's fine to say, I haven't got a clue. I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know how, and that's okay. Other times, if you strongly believe in something or in a position, you should stand the ground. But then again, if someone says something is nonsense just because it's your side, it's nonsense. It's still nonsense. Thank you, Grace, for the support. Thank you for your clarity. You embody magic. Appreciate that. Thank you. I don't know what that means, but thank you. It was bananas, wasn't it? Yeah. You remember the banana man? Man, that was embarrassing. That wasn't embarrassing. At that point, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Are you Orthodox Christian or Roman Catholic? I was brought up Roman Catholic. Most of my family is Roman Catholic. Right now, I just like to refer to myself as a Christian. I prefer not to connect myself to any specific denomination. Maybe I will in the future. In the past, I've spent time, of course, again, I was brought up Roman Catholic, did everything, the communion and all the rest. Then for a time, I started investigating other denominations in Christianity simply because I was like, yeah, I was born in Italy, but that doesn't mean that I do believe that Christianity is real and it's true, but my version of Christianity, I kind of want to see what other people think. And so I investigated, I spoke a lot and visited evangelical Christians. They're a little too loud for me. I spoke with Jehovah's Witnesses. I spent a long time with the LDS Church. I investigated a lot of different churches. And right now, I prefer to just call myself a Christian. And then in the future, we'll see. I've never been to an Orthodox church, though. Thank you, Ray. You tried telling me your friend and Mandarin you gave a girl a box of chocolate. All they hear is that you gave her... Oh, no. Did they mispronounce the tones? That's funny. Thank you, Dry Cleaner. I appreciate that. Casually gets robbed in the background. What happened? What happened in the background? You're a creator of fantasy cards. Cool. Yeah, that would be fun. You'll have to email me and then we can organize that. Why did I choose the name Metatron? I have a dedicated video to it if you want to check it out. It's literally called why I called my channel Metatron, but it's a video from like 10 years ago, so I'm all over the place. It takes me forever to get to the freaking point. I would love to revive classical Latin, like teach it as a spoken language. It would be amazing. Totally, like Sanskrit spoken in India. Absolutely, I would be in favor of that. Maybe you would have to, if you're doing it with children, then you would have to, like teaching the language, then you would have to teach them bilingual because you can't have them just speak Latin. What are they going to do? I mean, my son, our son with my wife, we're going to 100% bring him up bilingual, Italian, English, 100%. But the way we're going to do it is that he will speak English to mommy and he will speak Italian to me, to dad. That's how it's going to be. So I'll speak to him most of the time. I'll speak to him in Italian. Maybe the only times when I won't do that is when the in-laws are over. Because, I mean, I want them to be able to understand me, but still. So sorry to hear that. You're learning Latin in Brazil. She was born in 1946. She was learning Latin in Brazil. Well, so sorry for your loss. I was brought up a Baptist despite being atheist. I'm still friends with my old pastor today. He's a cool dude. That's great. That shows open mind. And I mean, Baptists can be a little, particularly Southern Baptists, can be a little intense. Am I right? Let's see. Catholics do the cross backwards. Well, you see, so yeah, the way you do the cross in Catholicism is you start from the up, down, left, right. But I believe Orthodox do up, down, right, left. That's what I noticed with Andrew Wilson because he's Orthodox. And I noticed that he does the cross like that, the other way around. Yeah, they can be, my goodness gracious, Quintian. Yeah, I've heard some, and I'm like, goodness gracious. You grew up Southern Baptist, and I think you know what I'm talking about. Hey, Metatron, forget how you feel about the current Pope. You did? How? I keep bitching about it in the morning and evening. Yeah, I don't like the current Pope one bit. Happy to change my mind. But yeah. What are we talking about? So we have a lot. We have a lot, in fact. And I think soon, in 10 minutes or so, there are a few videos and a few things that I wanted to check out with you. And plenty of topics. Absolutely. Lots of things to talk about tonight. Lots of things to talk about. You got ads when I was responding. Yeah, I can't stand the current Pope. There you go. You got it. His ice ritual was one of the weirdest, particularly because all he does is complain about ice, and then what he decides to bless, ice? How does that happen? Doesn't matter, he's still a human being, and I don't worship the Pope, I worship Jesus. So we can disagree all we want with the Pope. Plus, I don't even disagree then necessarily with doctrine. I disagree with his politics. Do you like the previous Pope? Who? Universalist boy? No. We need to go back until we get a Pope I like. Magic is belief. Living by your beliefs makes you magic. Appreciate that. I'll leave it there for tonight. Okay, Grace. Appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you for the support. I never met a Pentecostal or I don't even know what a charismatic is. I haven't got a clue. I don't know. I was a little like, I know that there are so many versions of Christianity. I'll switch back to chat in a second, but there are so many versions of Christianity, right? That sometimes there are some that I've never heard of. I haven't got a clue. Like the Adventist of the Seventh Day. I don't know what they believe. But what's funny is that the other day I was driving around with the wife, and then I saw this sign on a church, and it said, Church of Jesus Scientist. Yeah, it was like Church of Jesus Scientist. What is a Jesus Scientist? So I was a little confused by that, to be honest. But yeah. No, sorry, I don't have time to play D&D. I mean, my wife is playing with a D&D group, and I'm not even joining them, even though they play at my house. Too much to do. But I appreciate the invitation. Thank you. Who was the last Pope you like? I don't know, John Paul? I mean, we gotta go back. You should do a video on the best and worst popes through history. Right, but then best and worst will be very subjective. So we'll have to see. Let's see. You aren't born a Muppet. You made one, absolutely. I became a Muppet. Totally. We got a Muppet right here. You know, you say Muppet, you summon the Muppet. I got it right here. There it is. Excuse me. Excuse me. But if you say Muppet, you get a Muppet. A Muppet. How about the Muppet? We got a little Muppet here. But yeah. Mention a Muppet, get a Muppet. What can I tell you? It's on you. But anyways, with the Muppet all done, I think it's time to start checking out some of those it's Jordan Peterson. Yeah, it kind of sound like him. But yeah, no, I'd like to start checking out some of those videos that I was seeing. So how about we do that? Muppet or not. Muppet or not. Thank you, Ray. My mom tried teaching my nieces Spanish, but they don't seem to care much about learning the curse words. What age are your niece? Because if you need to start since since still in the belly, to be honest. Like, you got to start as soon as they're born, immediately. Anyways, let's go. So first video I wanted to check out, it's a 3 minutes video, so this should be pretty nice. Hey Nox, NOX. We have got this, so I'm really curious about it. 1 second. Let me check again stream connectivity. Make sure everything is fine. Everything is good. All right. So what we've got here, ladies and gentlemen, yeah, I mean, look at this. Overwatch just announced a new Italian hero. And you think I'm not going to react? Of course I'm going to react. So what have we got? Looks-wise. So, yeah, she's got the black hair, typical Italian. She's got the, I guess, light skin, typical Italian. She's got the red eyes, typical... What? Why does she have red eyes? I don't know. Whatever. But what I'm interested in is that the name is La Lupa, which means the she-wolf. So there is a connection with ancient Rome, and I always appreciate that. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's have a look. Let's have a look at this Italian hero. This Italian. Typical Italian sword. Vendetta. That's vengeance in Italian. Alright. I wonder if she's a southern or northern. Maybe she's from Rome.
Look at them. I wish you were here to see their faces. The crowd. The lights.
She has the accent. She has the accent. Ooh, I love that.
The spectacle. I've become quite the celebrity in the Colosseo. They have chosen me.
The way she said Colosseo, she's from Rome. 100%. 100%.
They call me La Lupa, the wolf.
The wolf. The wolf.
And I'm their villain.
Oh. She's
At
awesome.
first, I hated it. Their cheers and jeers reminded me of the sycophants you surrounded yourself with. Weak men who leeched off of your greatness, picking the bones of everything you built, leaving me with nothing, surrounded by my enemies, alone.
She looks quite typical Italian.
But you were preparing me for this, weren't you, Papa?
Papa. That's dad in Italian. Oh, that's a... Oh, goodness gracious.
You showed me that fear was
Wow.
a weapon. You helped me temper my wild and reckless nature with patience and guile. Taught me the value in knowing my enemy, in learning to turn their greatest strengths into their weaknesses.
Uh-oh.
Even in death, you showed me the consequences
So that's the
of
dad.
underestimating an adversary. I promise you, I won't repeat your mistakes. Look at me, Papa. This is
Yeah, look at me, Papa. Man, I love this. I love it. I love it. It's first Italian hero ever.
no longer the face of your little girl. Your enemies are still my enemies. But I am so much more than you had the chance to see. My recklessness is now focused rage. And I finally embraced what I once hated. I am the wolf. I am La Lupa. They're
This is good.
right to fear me. They will respect me.
Man, what do you say? He was La Cosa Nostra, so no, that would make him... man, I don't think the guy was Mafia, no. Is she too dark skinned? No, not really. I mean, she looks a little tan, but that's fine. I tan, by the way. I know that I'm kind of, like I'm very white, but then again, if you put me under the sun, I tan. You know, we're not like Nordics. So, no, I think it's fine. And I love that she has the accent. What else have we got? What else have we got?
This arena,
This.
this moment,
This.
is all just a means to an end. Every lesson, every loss has been tallied and recorded. I will take back everything that was stolen from us.
Yeah. Man, who's gonna bring back the empire? She's like, Roman Empire is back again. Yeah?
I will use them to do it.
I approve. I'm gonna say, I approve. I approve of this, like she put it, of this. And I'm not sure about the red eyes, but I gotta give you though. I'll give it to them. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. The red eyes are fine. They're good. I'm good with the red eyes. And what else? What else can we say about the Italian? I wonder what accent. So yeah, see if she's from Rome, because the way Colosseo. That would be funny. I wonder if, because of course she's gonna say a lot of stuff, right? You know how Overwatch is, right? The voice actress. Ooh, let's look her up. Chiara Preziosi. It means Claire Precious, by the way. Let's check it out. Let's check out Chiara Preziosi, voice actress. Let's see where she's from. Voice actress Chiara Preziosi. Let's a little Google foo. Oh, she did. Okay, let's see. Oh, thank you for the email. I appreciate that, Sam. Also, check it out after the stream. So, Chiara Lucia Preziosi is known for Warcraft 3, Reforged, and Fortnite, and The Simpsons. Really? Wow. I saw the super chat. I'll check it in a second. Let me see. She has got Overwatch Wiki. Italian. She's Italian, but did they tell us where from? I mean, then again, if she's a voice actress, it means she doesn't have an accent, so she knows how to speak in standard. But then again, I still want to know where she's from. Chiara Preziosi. Nationality Italian. Great. Thank you for nothing. Never mind. Thank you for nothing. Where is she from? Chiara Preziosi. Okay, Chiara Preziosi. Yeah, make it smaller, will you? Chiara Preziosi, born Chiara Lucia Preziosi, is an Italian voice actress. She's mostly an amateur one, being part of the Ora Dobbiamo Okay fan club, right? Okay, she's Italian fan club voice. So great. But they're not telling us where she's from. I want to know where she's from, crying out loud. Do you guys know? Yeah, apparently she was in The Simpsons. Who knows? I do love the, yeah. Vendetta is a great name, by the way. I'll give him that one. Vendetta, vengeance in Italian, sounds great for the name. What else do they tell us? Take a look at the Vendetta La Lupa hero trailer for Overwatch 2. First, we know what Overwatch is. Players can get the backstory of La Lupa, an upcoming hero coming soon to Overwatch 2. I'm still going to play it. I'm still going to play Wikipedia. I don't know if she has a Wikipedia. Where is Super Mario from? New York. No, actually. No. So he wasn't even born in New York. He was born in freaking another world, right? Canonically. But then again, I think he grew up and he's like he's an Italian American. Mario and Luigi are Italian Americans, clearly. Although then again, they're more Italians than Americans. You know how I know that? I know that because in Super Mario 64, if you don't do anything and you just don't touch it, he falls asleep and then he starts dreaming about pasta. Did you know that? Yeah. Yes, Mediterranean folks, we have olive skin. Some people, some are very light-skinned because some also have Norman blood. So no, in Mediterranean, you get a bit of everything. You get a bit of olive, you get a bit of very white, and you get people that are more tanned. You got a bit of everything, really, in the Mediterranean. It's very mixed. Not a lot of info. It's fine. Anyways, she's good. I like her voice. I think she's great. Thank you, Ray Gonzalez, for the super chat. I'm saddened that her trailer song is in Funiculi Funicola. That would be Napolitan, though. My disappointment is immeasurable and my day has been ruined. Well, no, to be honest, I think we would have all been copy claimed, so we don't need it. So there's that. My wife is Napolitan. She's fair-skinned. A friend from the same area, very dark-skinned. Yeah, it depends. It's a dice roll, particularly in the south. But yeah. Yeah, we tan, but don't naturally have tan skin. In general, for Italians, that's how it is, yeah. But then again, it depends on the Italians. Some Italians do have quite tan skin. My family is Sicilian. My uncle looks just like Metatron. Cool. Does he have the long hair as well? Light themes? Yeah, no, I don't. Usually I use dark theme on everything. Yeah, it's too much on your eyes, isn't it? Absolutely. I'm not familiar with Alexios Cosanus, no. I'll have to check him out. He collaborated with Luke Ranieri on Latin. Very cool. Very cool. Anyways, that was the first video I wanted to check out. Let's move on. We've got a few. So we got this video, and it's called Top Roman Facts. And I've been told it's really good. So it's always nice to find good creators on ancient Rome. And the title kind of attracted my attention. Effing little Britons. The Romans despised the ancient Britons. Yes, we did. But apart from that, I'm going to give him the floor. And I'm going to provide commentary. Let's see. Let's see if it's good or if people were trolling with me. Were trolling me. Let's go.
The Romans hated the ancient Britons.
Sorry.
The Romans hated the ancient Britons. They thought they were weird, bow-legged, and didn't know when they were conquered.
Right.
Hello, my name is Hadley, and I'm an archaeologist. In this video, I'm going to show you ancient texts written by Romans about how much they despised the Britons.
I just saw it. Did you see his microphone, guys? It's the Roman sponge, the one they use in the latrina, the one that they use to clean themselves off. Oh my gosh, that is the best microphone ever. Oh, that is so funny. Let's go.
The Romans called this island here Britannia,
Britannia,
and that soon became the name of the province when the Roman army conquered the southern part of it.
Yes.
The conquest reached somewhat of an equilibrium around this part of modern-day England and Scotland, and this is where the Roman lines of fortifications were clustered. This is a letter written about 1900
That's Windolanda tablet.
years ago by a Roman soldier. The letter itself was found at Vindolanda Fort along what would become Hadrian's Wall 2 decades later.
Basically the wall to keep the Scots out because those guys are nuts. Caledoni. Sorry, I need to use period accurate terminology here. We're in front of an archaeologist. Love the beginning though.
Even in this period, the soldiers who garrisoned these border forts would have come across the inhabitants of Free Britannia more than most people in the Roman province. And let's just say many didn't like them.
Yep.
The letter is a scouting report because the Roman army would send out scouts to try and determine what the British soldiers were up to.
Did you say British soldiers though? I mean, I know I'm being pedantic, but Britannic, maybe it's better, but whatever. He knows what he's talking about, so.
Kind of strength they had, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Here's what it says translated into English.
Let's go.
The Britons are unprotected by armour. There aren't many cavalry, but they don't use swords, nor do the Britunculi mount in order to throw their javelins. That word Britunculi there at one point stumped a lot of scholars.
So, Britunculi. Yeah, you either translate it as little small Britons or like an insult, I'd say. So that's probably why he's titling it effing Britons, because that's how he's, that is one of the possible translations, absolutely. So regardless, it's disparaging, obviously. I think they're both fine. We don't really exactly know, but cool.
Many translated it as Little Britons or Wretched Britons.
Right.
But actually, more recent scholarship has suggested that the term is best translated as
the F word.
Effing Little Britons. Filling the expletive there, because I'm not going to say it in this video. I do find this quite funny though. The idea of these non-British born Roman soldiers talking about these effing little Britons throwing javelins without even being on the backs of their horses and then just galloping away, like just a hilarious annoyance that these soldiers must have dealt with every single day.
Yeah, I mean, he's right. A lot of the natives were using guerrilla tactics. That's until, of course, Boudica. And then, I mean, initially Boudica too was doing guerrilla tactics and that kind of strategy against the Romans until, and they were doing well. But then what happened, as you of course know, is that Boudica and the indigenous people, the Britannic and Celts and whatever, they were like, oh, we are defeating the Romans. Let's face them in open field combat. And that's when they got annihilated, because you don't face the Roman military machine on an open field and survive to tell the tale. It just doesn't happen. So, I mean, it is what it is.
Before the Romans annexed the southeast part of Britain by about AD 50, Julius Caesar led 2 expeditions against the Britons.
Yeah.
He claimed that the Britons were aiding the Gauls whilst he was busy conquering them, but they probably were other factors at play. You see, Britannia occupied this semi-mythical place in the Roman imagination.
Yeah, the Tin Islands is what he's talking about now. There were some people didn't believe that Britannia existed in Rome. Because there was a mythological area that they called them the Tin Islands. It's interesting. I think I mentioned it on a video of mine.
It was an island that was adrift in the ocean. Most Romans at this point in history weren't used to dealing with tides, so the rise and fall of the ocean, as they would have seen it, must have been terrifying. Of course, there were stories about warrior priests and powerful foreign gods. Scary stuff. So if Caesar led an exhibition and tamed the wild island, he would gain immense prestige and glory from his colleagues.
Excellent presentation so far. I like this guy. I think luckily I don't even remember who told me about him, but they were right. So far, excellent presentation. He's correct. What did he say? Oh yeah, he talked about the priests. So Britannic priests and priests in Britannia, the Druids specifically, were so famous that Gauls from the continent as they were studying to become druids, they would go on a trip to Britannia to learn from the druids over there, because that's how much they revered them. And there is a reason for it. I'll touch upon it in a little bit.
Caesar's expeditions, both of them, didn't penetrate much further inland than Kent. Caesar kept a detailed description of his campaigns, and these survive to this day in a highly editorialized format. But what they do say is ever so interesting. He says that the part of Britain he visited was much like that of Gaul because of Gallic immigration.
Of course.
Most of the people lived in the countryside. They had a few fortified settlements.
Oppida. I have to make a dedicated video to the Oppida, by the way, because the fortified villages are a fascinating topic.
They were ruled by a warrior elite, and the Britons made particular use of war chariots. These weren't scythed like Eastern chariots, but they were used as rapid transportation for the warrior elite. They would roll up to battle on their chariots, fight for a bit, throw a few javelins, engage in melee combat, and then roll away on their chariot if things got a bit hairy. But Caesar also describes the bizarre practices of the inland Britons. Here's what Caesar says, translated into English.
All right, before we listen to the passages from Caesar, or Caesar, if you want. Interestingly enough, even this would have looked like a bizarre practice from the point of view of the Romans, because it was considered obsolete, archaic. So the Gauls, consider these are all Celts, right? These are all Celtic subcultures. Whether you agree with the approach, the standard academic approach on how we define Celts, or whether you believe you're part of the other school of thought that says, yeah, but these connections, whatever, regardless. The Gauls did fight on chariots up to a few hundred years before, but then it went completely obsolete in the continent within the Celtic substructure of the military system. But a lot of the things, that's how I told you I was going to go back to the priests and the druids. So what's interesting is that they have a lot of similarities, the Celts in the continent and the Celts in Britannia. But the Celts in Britannia, it's as if they are frozen in time, and which makes sense, they're in an island. So they preserved things that had already gone obsolete in the continent. One of these is the chariot warfare. They used to do it, the Gauls, then they drop it, but they preserve it. So from a Roman perspective, it's like you're going back in time. The second thing that they preserved is a lot of the knowledge when it comes to the religion, which is why continental Celts or continental Gauls would go into Britannia to study. And then the third thing is the body paint, which I'm sure he's going to read now, because the body paints, believe it or not, and this one I can't prove because it's a theory of mine, but I think the body paints also originated in the continent. They were done for a certain period of time, then it was discontinued ancestrally, but we still find it here in Britannia. But I do think it's a continental thing, and the way I prove it, if we want to have a discussion about this, is because there is a coin that is found in the continental Celtic, in a continental Celtic situation, not insular, which clearly shows a Gaul with the body paint on the face. Exactly the same. Anyways, let's see what he's going to read. So far, as I say, excellent video.
Most of those inhabiting the interior do not...
We'll read this, then I'll read a few super chats. We'll listen to this, I'll comment, I'll read a few super chats, and we'll get back to it.
What Caesar says, translated into English.
Yeah.
Most of those inhabiting the interior do not grow corn, but live instead on milk and meat, and clothe themselves in skins. All the Britons dyed themselves with woad, which produces a blue colour, and as a result their appearance in battle is all the more daunting. They wear their hair long and shave all their bodies with the exception of their heads and upper lip. Wives are shared between groups of 10 or 12 men, especially between brothers and between fathers and sons. The offspring, on the other hand, are considered the children of the man with whom the woman first lived.
There's a lot to say about this, First and foremost, I like that he chose one of the translations that translates the word into dye. And that's right. So the Latin original term, when we describe the kind of body paint that the Celts or the Britons used, and this is not only through Caesar, but also through Pomponius Mela, who is another author that tells us about this, they use the exact same word that is used when you dye permanently clothing in the Roman context, which is why it led to some people speculating that it is possible that rather than being body paint, this may have been tattoos. Now, do we know for a fact that these are tattoos? No, maybe it is body paint, but it is curious that they use the word dye, not the word draw or the word paint. So keeping that in mind, I'm glad that he selected a translation that uses the correct thing. However, when it comes, I don't know if he's going to cover this, but is it a blue color? It depends. According to some Roman authors, is blue. According to other Roman authors, is green. My guess is turquoise at this point. This is my guess when it comes to this. The wife sharing, I mean, I don't recall it right now. Do we even have proof of that?
Well, that's packed full of juicy claims. Perhaps Caesar did see a few of the inland Britons during his conquests, but I think it's more likely that he's basing his descriptions on tales and a general xenophobia. We know
Well, from a modern perspective, everybody was xenophobic anyways. It's not like the Britons were xenophobic towards the Romans. But anyway, before I continue with that, let me check out super chats. I don't want to be disrespectful. I got a few to read. Also, I want to say thank you to Flam for subscribing tier 1 on Twitch. Always appreciated. Thank you. All right, so what have we got? Lord Visa, have you seen Hassan Piker getting excited when he was gifted Mao's book? Yes, I did. Of course he did. Could you imagine if someone got excited if they were gifted the Austrian patent? What, Mein Kampf? Yeah, same moral equivalence. Of course, but he will never see it that way anyways. So, yeah, I did see it. Ray Gonzalez, I'm sad that I read this one, I believe. My mom tried to see I read that one. Where's the Popes? Yeah, I think I didn't skip any super chat, did I? Oh yeah, how good is your American Southern accent? Asks Justin Cook. I don't think I could do that. I don't think I could do it. The only thing I'm noticing is that, I mean, I've noticed a lot of things. For instance, they use fixing instead of saying I'm about to do something. My wife and my mother-in-law, they always say I'm fixing to leave, I'm fixing to, and it took me a little bit to figure that one out. Well, not too long, but it was different. But then I noticed that when I hear them speak here, they don't fully, it depends on the person, but a lot of people don't fully pronounce the I sound the way I would. So I would say side or, I don't know, time and French fries. But a lot of people here say French fries. That's what it sounds like to me. Also, my father-in-law adds and everything after everything he says. I don't know why he does that, but he does that a lot. So like he's talking about whatever, beef and so he will say beef and everything. That's what he says. Everything needs to be added to everything, I suppose. But yeah, it's kind of fun. But yeah, it's kind of funny. How come you don't have tattoo arm or something? I don't like tattoos personally. So, I mean, I like them on other people, but not on me. And in general, not on women. If you can think this is misogynistic all you want. I'm just being honest with you. I don't like tattoos on women. Sometimes on men, depending on the guy, because I mean, if it makes you look like a convict, I'm like, whatever. I mean, that's a look you want to go for. Be free. But I think, some cool tattoos like a dragon on your side of the arm, I think it's cool. I think tattooing random Chinese words is kind of cringe unless you have a connection to the language, or Japanese. If you have a connection, whatever. If you love it, you spend like 10 years that do whatever you want. But as I say, I'm not a big tattoo guy myself, so it's just one of those things, I suppose. One of those things. So 0 tattoos when it comes to me. When it comes to piercing as well, I'm not a big fan. Although then again, I do have one of my ears is pierced. I used to wear. Now I only have the little holder that keeps it open. But I used to have like an earring, a single earring, whatever. But that's about it. No tattoos on women, I agree. Yeah, and that's just my personal preference. It's kind of funny when Like sometimes women will get offended and be like, well, I'm not doing them for you. I'm like, yeah, and I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying, like, I'm sure you have a personal preference when it comes to a million things. In fact, women are a lot more like that than men. Let's be honest about this for a second. Like when it comes to women, they will tell you when they don't like something, what they want you to wear, how they want you to have your hair, how they want you to have your beard. Like, I'm not allowed to shave my beard. Do you think my wife would be okay with me shaving my beard? There's not a chance in heaven or hell. So, likewise, I think it's okay for men to express preferences. For instance, I think it's awful the nose ring, not the nose ring, the bull. What is it called? The septum ring. I don't remember the word. But you know what I'm saying. I think that's awful. I'm not infringing on your freedom. You can do whatever you want. Septum, there you go. For some reason, I got confused with Septimus Severus. But yeah, no. So that's just me. I think, personally, people don't want to hear my personal opinion on that, fine. But I'll still share it. Because freedom and First Amendment. So, I think, no septum ring on women. No tattoos on women. And very, very, very light makeup. But very light. No full face of makeup. That's what I consider attractive. And that's me. Okay? I'm not going to apologize for it. Let's go back to archaeology, shall we? Not going to apologize for it. But anyways, that's what I think. Let's go. Thank you, Cormag75, for subscribing with Prime. I really appreciate that. Let's go.
A fact that inland Britons did grow corn.
Yeah, true.
But they also reared cattle, sheep, pigs, goats, and of course, they drank the milk and ate the meat. Caesar was misinformed, or was deliberately misinforming his readers.
I think I'll go for the second one because that is a propaganda book anyways. I mean, it does have a lot of history, so it shouldn't be disregarded, De Bello Gallico. But then again, remember who he was writing it for, the freaking Senate. So it really is a book that screams, don't mess with me, and whatever I'm doing is justified. Really, that is what the book is, if you read it in context.
Readers about that. The thing that tends to capture everyone's imagination is, of course, the wife sharing.
Yeah.
There is no other evidence for this other than what Caesar claims. Personally, I don't think we can trust him. The ancient Britons didn't appear to have much of a problem with female monarchs or chiefs. Cartimandua of the Brigantes and Boudica of the Iceni are two notable examples from later history. Perhaps Caesar was over-extrapolating this tolerance for female rule as some wife-sharing hellscape. To a Roman, there would be nothing worse because of the immense value they placed on inheritance and being sure who the true father was. Ironic that Caesar, a famous adulterer with other men's wives, would make up a story about the morally outrageous practice of wife-sharing.
That is a great point. I don't know what your name is, but I'll call you Top. That is a great point. That is a great point. We have a super chat from Cabrus. Thank you. I offended you the other way when complaining about foreigners insulting USA. I didn't mean you, and for what it's worth, I'm glad to have you here. But thank you. Appreciate that. It's not a problem, man. Yeah, I think I kind of remember the exchange we had. But then again, as I say, I'm an Italian, so we can scream today and tomorrow we can go have pizza together. That's me. So no problem, man. Absolutely. Not a problem. Absolutely. Not a problem.
Some archaeologists have argued that Caesar's expeditions to Britain, far from being a failure, actually established various client kingdoms on the island. Okay. We certainly do see plenty of Roman-made stuff ending up in elite British context.
Yeah, this is for wine. Is this olive oil?
Jars for storing wine and olives, bronze medical...
Olives. I was close, guys. I was close. This is the amount of time I spent looking at Pompeii villas and pictures of amphorae. This is what it is. I was close. I was close.
Kits, jewelry, and even this outstanding medallion featuring the first Emperor Augustus. Maybe, but any kind of Roman rule was by proxy, if there was any major influence. After a major disaster at the Teutoburg forest, where thousands of Roman soldiers were slaughtered by Germanic war bands, the Emperor Augustus appeared to have a rethink of imperial strategy.
Sorry, it's just whenever I hear the word Teutoburg, I feel like vomiting.
The days of endless conquests were over. It was time to entrench. Britain, therefore, was to be taken off the cards as a province. Strabo...
Until Claudius.
was a Greek geographer and writing at the time. He was very much on board with the Roman Empire. He may have even had Roman citizenship. He argued that the cost of garrisoning Britain would have outweighed the revenue brought in by charging import and export duties, tariffs. We don't have economic data to say whether he was right or wrong, but I believe Strabo here was towing the party line of Augustus. Britain was a horrible place, not even worth conquering. Here's one particularly damning passage translated into English.
Okay, so before we jump in the passage, as I say, love the presentation. This guy's solid. I do believe that at least all the way up to Claudius, because whenever the Romans choose whether or not they want to conquer a land, well, the expedition has a cost. It's very expensive. So the only way, unless it's like a vengeance mission, in general, yeah, they need to know this is what it's going to cost to mobilize our armies. We're gonna lose personnel. It's gonna bring all the food and everything. But in this area, we know that they have 3 copper deposits, 2 silver deposit and mines, lots of tin, like it was the case in the Iberian Peninsula. So then, and then of course they usually, you know how he was talking about scouts. That's another thing that the Romans did a lot. Scouts and spies. They would send them in advance, sometimes months, sometimes years, because they want to know. Not only they want to know enemy territory for effective deployment, but also because they want to do population cluster analysis. I know it sounds strange to think that people in the classical period did that, but they absolutely did, because at the end of the day, these are going to become how many strong armed men can they raise for defense? How connected are they? Divide et impera, divide and conquer. How connected are they? Because you want to make sure they are divided, so they will try to become friends with one tribe, enemy with that tribe. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Like, the Romans were fantastic at this kind of tactics. But then they also want to make sure if we spend X, we need to make more. It's really that simple. And so I think they didn't feel, considering also that they had to move through the navy in Britannia. Vegetius tells us a lot about that. They probably, at the time of Julius Caesar, they probably thought, yeah, it's not worth it. However, with Claudius, the situation changes. Personally, I think it's because of the tin mines, Cornwall, Wales. But yeah.
The men of Britain are taller than the Celts, not so blonde, and of looser build. As an indication of their size, I saw myself some in Rome, little more than boys, standing as much as half a foot above the tallest in the city, though they were bow-legged, and in other respects lacking any gracefulness of body. Their customs are in some respects like those of the Celts, in other respects simpler and more barbaric. As a result, some of them, through their want of skill, do not make cheese, though they have no shortage of milk. They are also unskilled in horticulture or farming in general. They are ruled by chieftains. In war they mostly use the chariot like some of the Celts. The forests are their cities, for they fortify a large circular enclosure with felled trees, and there they make themselves huts and pen their cattle, though not for a long stay. Their weather tends to rain rather than snow, and on days when there are no
That sounds like England, all right.
Clouds, fog persists for a long time, with the result that throughout the whole day the sun can be seen for only about 3 or 4 hours around noon.
Yeah, that's Britain. That's Britain, all right. Yeah, man, could you imagine that? Like, something that we could still relate to. It was already like that when it comes to the weather. That's funny. Fantastic passage. He's really good at picking the passages that are the most interesting. So when it comes to stature, that's a typical thing with Germanics in general. They tended to be, on average, taller than Mediterraneans. When it comes to them not being so blonde, you know what that probably means? What that probably means, and we know it through Caesar, so if you connect Strabo with Caesar and Mela, that probably means they were ginger. Redhead. In fact, we are told that they are distinguished. They are like, Celts, Germans and whatnot, the Germanic tribes, they're blonde, but these guys in Britannia, they're redhead. That's what they tell us. So does that mean that every single one? No, it means that there is an average. And in the average, you see blondism or you see gingerism, I don't know how to call it, a lot more often than you would in the Mediterranean world, where even today, I mean, it's present. Some people are blonde in Italy, some people are blonde in Greece, even less than Italy, but the percentages are a lot smaller than people with black hair, for instance, or people with brown hair. Again, there are exceptions, like Emperor Octavianus Augustus, since he mentioned him, he had blue or gray eyes, whether blue or gray, difficult to know with ancient languages, one of the two. But his hair was described as subflavum. Now, flavum is the exact word that means yellow that is used to describe the Germans, like Germanic tribes, and the Celts. So, yeah, that's flavum. Flower for female, feminine. But subflavum is a subcategory, S-U-B, right? It's a subcategory of blonde. So in this sense, what they're telling us in the sources is that he was kind of blonde, but not blonde in the Germanic sense. Otherwise, they would have used the Germanic word for it. So what does that mean? Either some kind of dirty blonde, dark blonde. I mean, at the end of the day, even today, Italian blonde is not the same as Swedish blonde. Or, and that's the other thing that I think, maybe a light brown is how I would describe Emperor Augustus. Yeah. Very cool passage.
Around noon. Wow, who would even want to conquer Britain? This description reminds me of colonial explorers talking about lands and peoples in the New Worlds. They didn't really understand them, but they certainly thought they were superior to them.
And I know that a lot of like archaeology now points the finger at European colonialism and says, oh, look at these bad Europeans reaching the Americas. And then instead the noble savage, they were nice, but Europeans being white supremacists thought that they were better. I think that's a very reductive way to look at it, and it's extremely politicized. Yeah, they were European colonial powers were brutal. No one is saying that they weren't. But then again, when you reach a land and you see that they are doing human sacrifices, is it really that weird to think your culture is superior than theirs? Again, I'm not saying ethnically superior, but culturally, I personally would agree with the Spanish conquistadors at that point. And I know that's going to get me a lot of hate. But that's what I think.
Some of what Strabo says is untrue. The ancient Britons were excellent farmers.
Yeah, that's true.
The point about some Britons not being able to make cheese is something I've been researching for years.
Disgusting. What do you mean? We need cheese. What are they doing with their milk? We need mozzarella.
That's not even an exaggeration. I've yet to find an example of an Iron Age cheese strainer. So maybe he was right, but you don't actually need a ceramic strainer to make cheese.
Yeah, they could have used perishable materials. I see where he's going with this. As I say, this guy's good.
That was just the preferred Roman method.
Yep.
Iron Age people could have used baskets or bags, things that don't survive well in the archaeological record.
The Roman method is the superior method, though. Give me that one.
Some of Strabo's points can be worked to match existing archaeology. For example, when he says that the cities of the Britons are their forests, he's probably talking about hill forts.
Yes.
These seasonally occupied centres of power where the nobility and other key people fortified themselves with their cattle in these structures. Compared to Pontus, modern-day Turkey, where Strabo was from, Britain was cloudy. But compared to northern France, not so unique. I've spent a...
Yeah, compared to northern France, I can see that. But still, compared to the Mediterranean, though, very different. It is true, though, northern France kind of has the weather of southern Britain. If you go further up in the north of Britain, though, it gets colder, like significantly colder.
Lot of time in this video talking about the negative attitude, shall we say, that some Romans had towards ancient Britons. However, I think I could also make another video about all the ways in which some Romans loved some ancient Britons.
Yeah, you should.
There was intermarrying, Britons fighting on behalf of the Roman Empire, people wearing necklaces with the Roman emperor's face on them, and that's not to mention the emperor...
That's a based thing, by the way, to do. Wearing necklace with the face of the emperor, based.
Constantine's a great soft spot for the province. History is a complex beast where people can hold simultaneous and contradictory views on identity and how they feel about other people. But thank you so much for watching to the end of this video. I really hope you enjoyed it.
This guy was great. So you were right. Excellent presentation. Really liked it. Gave him a like. I'm just gonna give the link in chat if you guys want to subscribe to his channel or check out the rest of his videos. Let me check the chat very quickly, and then we move to the next video that we want to check out for tonight. We have quite a few. Let's see. Let's see. Are you going to upload a video about Christopher Columbus? I have a feeling I have. Did I really never do one? I probably should. You're right. Absolutely. Metatron, what are your thoughts on aliens and life outside Earth? Yeah, no, I think so. By definition, angelic beings are not humans, not of Earth. Yeah, is one of the many scriptures to indicate this. Yeah, sure. I mean, I'm open-minded to the idea of alien life, but I don't know if they have visited us or not. I think it's a fascinating theory, but like the ancient astronaut theory, I have no reason. I'm not convinced. I have no reason to believe, but I'm not completely skeptical about it. I'm always open, but because again, I do believe that there are other races, intelligent species out there. The universe is too big. Not to mention, even from a Christian perspective, why would God create such an immense universe to then populate only one planet? Not that I'm trying to say that I understand the ways of the omnipotent. With that being said, I think it does, even from a Christian perspective, it just makes sense that God perhaps filled the universe with other races. That's what I think, but I don't know. I haven't got a clue. I'm open-minded to it, though. Absolutely. And I see what you're saying with when you read the scriptures, in particular, if you read them in Hebrew, the description of some of the angels, when they say that their skin was metal and it was glittering in the sun, it does sound like machines when you read it in the original language. It is an intriguing thought. It is an intriguing thought, but I'll keep it as a thought for now. Let me see. Romania was Rome? No, but it was a Roman territory, which is why it's called Romania, the land of Rome. It definitely was conquered. That's why Romanian is a Romance language. For some reason, people always forget that. It is heavily influenced by Slavic languages, but it is Romance. Just like Italian is Romance and Portuguese is Romance, French, Spanish, so is Romanian. It is a Romance language. Yeah. Beautiful pottery, I agree. Gorgeous pottery, absolutely. No, I'm not a deist. I'm a theist. Do you know the difference between theist and deist? Because a deist, I see where you're coming with this. A deist is you believe a God, but God created us and then left. No, I'm not a deist. I'm a theist. I do believe he's still intervening with us. But yeah, cool stuff. Okay. So yeah, good video. Very cool. Next one. So which one is this one? Oh, the guy that is getting... everyone says he's hilarious. Let's check him out. Thornton Meloni. How about the biblical series? I already have it. Hamonin in Sicilian. Yeah, right. Metatron Bible. You find a lot of videos on that, actually. Because I love it. Okay, guys. So, Dave504 apparently is being sued. 13.5 million subscribers now. I heard that the guy's really funny, and he's like a music guy, right? Because that's what I thought, but someone told me that this video is hilarious, and I really need a little laugh, so let's check it out. And then I'll get back to the super chats, don't worry, I won't forget. Let's go. I'm curious. What's happening, Dave?
This video is pretty much a documentary of how low the human IQ can drop when challenged. Apparently, a solid portion of the internet is now threatening to sue me.
Let me see. I love the accent, by the way. I love the way he speaks. I sue you, just like that. I want to sue you. I'm suing you, Dave. You're the only one getting sued, bro. Okay, so out of all these four, he can pass the exam. The only mistake he made is that he should have put the Y capital, but then again, he finally wrote your correctly and didn't drop the E and drop the apostrophe. I appreciate that. Everyone else lost it. I is capital, you absolute idiots.
Because I made a video exposing one guy who literally stole my songs and uploaded them into an AI website to make his own songs. Now let me clarify, I'm not against AI, as in artificial intelligence. AI can be great, it can be useful.
You're only saying that because you're afraid of Skynet.
And AI can probably replace me in this video and nobody would notice. But when AI is used as a crime machine to steal original music, then yeah, I'm gonna speak up. You know, I thought this stance was common sense, but apparently it's controversial. What do you think?
Everything is controversial these days.
Am I tripping? I've received so many brain dead comments in that video that I had to physically restrain my last 2 brain cells from jumping out of my skull. So I'm gonna share with you some of them, and trust me, by the end of this video, your IQ is gonna skyrocket purely from how low these people set the bar.
Oh, that's funny. Man, yes, I don't know what it is, but this guy's combination between his humor, which is very sharp, and his voice, which is instead very like disconnected. I don't know what it is, but it's a perfect match. Let's go.
So in the past video I was complaining that users stole the actual audio of my basslines, and one comment said, your bassline? You do not own the bassline, you own the guitar, but not the sound the guitar makes. You lost all your credibility as an artist. Why? If your music is better than AI, stop fighting it. Okay. This one is incredible. This comment is actually a medical achievement because somehow this man is alive with 0 brain cells.
Ooh, this guy's good. Man, the first time I watch him. This guy's good. Ooh. A medical achievement. A medical achievement. The guy. Oh, you own the guitar. You don't own the unbelievable.
He really said, I don't, because somehow this man is alive with 0 brain cells. He really said, I don't own the sound my guitar makes. Yeah, and by that logic, I also don't own my voice, right? Or my fingerprints. They're not mine. Everything I produce is apparently community property now. I can't wait for him to tell a painter, hey man, you just own the brush, but not the painting.
Exactly. No, I can't guess. I haven't got a clue. I don't know. But this is great.
That goes straight to public domain, bro. And the ending? If your music is better than AI, stop fighting it. That's like saying, if you are better than criminals, then stop calling the police. You should be the one risking getting sued, man. Because this comment is so bad, it should be illegal. But then, this comment arrived. No one robbed you. You have no property over sound waves. Grow up. This
You have no properties of the sound waves. And then he says, grow up. Unbelievable. That's the face.
This man really woke up, stretched, cracked his knuckles, and typed, you don't own sound waves. Like he just discovered physics in a cereal box. So by his rules, nobody owns songs, nobody owns music.
Like copyright couldn't exist anymore. At this point, you can write my videos. Nothing. Like you make a painting. You don't own it because you don't own the atoms in the paint. Woohoo! Do they just hate creators? I think they hate success. Yes, and this guy's clearly very successful. But here's the thing: people will bitch and debate and complain about literally everything. People have completely forgotten how to say nothing. You don't have to always write a freaking wall of text about everything. I love his voice, yeah.
Beethoven, fraud. Michael, his rules. Nobody owns songs. Nobody owns music. Beethoven, fraud. Michael Jackson, he's a criminal. A smooth one. It's like telling Eminem, bro, you don't own your lyrics. They are just vibration in the air. No wonder this guy wants me to grow up. He is clearly been living rent-free inside his own delusion for years. And before I move on, there's one more incredible thing I need to address.
Man, I'm looking forward to the great, incredible thing. I'm loving this video so far. This is incredible. He is Italian. Yeah, I love this guy. This guy's fantastic. Holy moly, but that level of stupidity. From Savona, I would have never guessed. From his English, I would have never guessed. But man, this is incredible.
after I announced this gold pick raffle, which will end in just 5 days. Be fast, link in description. Some people started worrying that I might get sued for giving it away. Legal trouble for what? Being nice? Holding a raffle? Giving away something I actually own? Guys, it's just a raffle. It's not a black market organ deal. Don't worry. The platform I'm using to host the raffle follows every regulation. No one is kicking down my door, and no one is dragging me to court for giving away a shiny object. Anyway, another comment said, I'm also a musician and producer. If your YouTube video is uploaded and your soundtrack isn't registered under a label, it isn't yours. It belongs to the internet.
It belongs to the internet. I think it's country dependent, but isn't it one of those scenarios where once you produce your music and you upload it, I mean, it's alright. When you produce, you already have the copyright for it, at least. I think it depends on the... I want to see what he's going to say. Shiny object. Yeah, that looked actually pretty nice. The pic.
This guy said he's a producer. Yeah, he's indeed a producer of misinformation. Let me give him a free music industry lesson. The moment you create original music, you automatically own the copyright. It is yours. You don't need a label. You don't need a contract. You don't need an ancient wizard signing it in blood. Posting music online does not suddenly transfer it to the internet. I thought these YouTube comments were bad, but then I checked Reddit and buckle up.
Why? Why would you do that, mate? Dave, come on. Dave, sit down. Dave, I need to talk to you, Dave. Have a seat. You don't go to... Whatever you do, guys, you don't go to Reddit. There are endless fields where humans are not born. They're cultivated in order to turn them into this. Sorry, I don't have a battery. Anyways. Ooh, you know how many subreddits are dedicated to your favorite one and only Sicilian here? Goodness gracious, he went to Reddit. Which circle of Reddit? I know, circle of hell. Let me check a couple of super chats and then we'll continue. But this guy is making my day. This is amazing. What's your opinion on AI? As a language model is good. I use it for language and linguistic things. Like to, I do that. The way people use it, it's a tool. So there are people that use it well, and it can enhance your experience and be good. And then there are people that use it, I think, in a way that is immoral. And that I wouldn't support. In fact, AI is one of the points where me and Shad disagree on. But he's absolutely right. Like, someone used AI to steal his song and re-upload it. It's wrong. That's the thing. So it's just, to me, it's a tool. I'm not one of those who's automatically against AI in every scenario, in every situation. But people using AI to write entire books and then sell them as their own, that's wrong. People using AI to push history content on YouTube that we, people that actually put in the work and research, can never compete against, and it's completely wrong, but they can flood it because they can post 20 a day. That's wrong. People using AI to steal stuff, it's wrong. So I'm against those, but I'm not against AI in the sense that the moment someone uses the word AI, I go into freaking ballistic mode. I think some people are exaggerated like that. But yeah, so it is what it is. How about biblical Syria? I responded to that. Wonder how similar pre-Hellenistic Italy culture was to Celtic, given the language proximity. Probably quite different, considering Hellenistic still. Probably quite different. But there are some Celtic surnames in Egypt. I don't know if you're aware of that, but some Egyptians had Celtic surnames. So at least some Egyptians would have been white. My minuscule, but still. Yeah, I think I read everything else, I believe. Yes, so let's get back to the video because I love this. I freaking love this guy. Man, I need to start watching more. It's just I usually don't watch music YouTubers. Really cool. Let's go.
Because we are about to enter web bed, but then Reddit. I checked Reddit and buckle up, because we are about to enter negative IQ territory. This guy on Reddit said, oh yes, washed up, monotonous Davey. Davey could have easily reported the user for copyright infringement directly to the AI website, but nah. He just want to make an announcement to fuel his online ego and gather some views. The only washed up thing here is your argument. I did report it, by the way, but there is a fun fact you might have missed while speedrunning ignorance. And the thing is, I'm allowed to talk about my own experience. Mind-blowing, isn't it? If somebody steals my work, I am allowed to speak about it publicly.
Oh, you know, Dave, the people that use Reddit are not really happy with freedom of expression, and so there is that.
That's not ego. That's called being a normal human adult. And the funniest part is that he said I should have handled it privately. But meanwhile, he's writing an essay on Reddit about me instead of DMing me. Is he trying to fuel his online ego and gather some Reddit upvotes?
Man, he destroyed him. Man, he annihilated him. It's not even an argument, is it?
What a shame. Someone else
Oh, I loved that actually.
my ego and gather some Reddit upvotes. What a shame. Someone else on Reddit said, Lemao, this guy is a YouTuber that has gained his following by playing other people's basslines. What an effing hypocrite. These men really equated covering songs with stealing audio files. Amazing. This guy's brain is like a loading bar stuck at 2%. In my bass covers or in any cover on YouTube, the revenue automatically goes to the original composer. Everyone is credited. It's legal. It's respectful. Stealing someone's actual audio, it's illegal, immoral, and also extremely stupid, like your comment.
Man, he's cooking. He's cooking. Thornton Meloni asks me, Queido in Sicilian, which means who is he? He's like a very popular content creator by the name of Davey504. He has 13.5 million subs and he's completely destroying haters on Reddit, and I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
Got 2 more comments. I ego, immoral, and also extremely stupid, like your comment. Got 2 more comments. I hummed a melody in the park once. Maybe that's why AI hums now. I should sue them too. He's trying to be sarcastic and funny, but obviously he missed the point of the entire video, because yes, if someone secretly recorded you humming in the park, fed your voice into an AI, and released a song with your actual voice in it, you should be allowed to sue. Sarcasm only works if you actually understand the topic. He tried to be smart, but the brain update failed to install. And final comment is, I'm suing Davey404. Perfect. I will see you in court. I will bring my bass, you bring your lawyer, and we will let the judge decide who owns the sound waves. Anyway, there are a lot more comments like these, but these ones I just showed you already cover every flavor of stupidity imaginable. If I keep reading, my brain is just gonna pack a suitcase and just leave. But on a more positive note, the user who stole my songs seems to have been terminated from that AI website. So at least someone pressed delete on his villain arc. Anyway, yeah, those comments were so amazingly dumb. They made me feel like a genius now. What about you? How do you feel? Let me know. And that's about it. Stay funky.
Man, this guy is cooking. As I say, if you didn't know who Davey504 was before this, now you do. And he's got quite a lot of interesting views. He's married to an Asian person, I think, an Asian wife. Very nice. And yeah, this was the original video, which got him a lot of views. And very cool, very cool. I think this guy's awesome. Let me give you the link to his channel, as we always do. I'm going to make it a thing that I put the link for people in chat. And before we jump into the next video, let's read the super chat, 6.5 inches. Not gonna lie, I just want you to say my name. Love your vids. There we go, 6.5 inches of autism. Oh my goodness, of autism. What a name. What a name. And yeah, I already read that one. I believe I'm up to, hey, David Guyton, a content creator. If I had my own haters posting on Reddit, I would consider that an honor. You know what, David? I absolutely agree with you. 100%. Well, yeah, I remember you. You're the guy that makes all the amazing stuff. Sorry. For a moment, I thought, is he the guy that makes the awesome stuff? And then I'm like, yeah, it's the guy that makes the awesome stuff. Absolutely, man. I keep looking at your stuff. It's amazing. But yeah, no, you're right. I do believe that. Like, whenever I make content and if people don't hate me on Reddit, something is wrong. Something is absolutely wrong if they don't hate. You know what? I need to tell you this, guys, and I might make a video about it, but do you want to... I occasionally check what people say on Reddit, just to see if it's content worthy to make like a laughing mockery, kind of like what he did. You want to know? After I made all my videos where I was like, it's horrible that people laughed at Charlie Kirk and his death and his family, and I really feel for him, for his wife, for his children. When I started making that content, of course, Reddit started posting more. There were more and more people going like, Metatron went full far right, alt-right. Okay, fine. But you want to know what the number one item of attack from these people? that they used against me. The number one, it's not even political per se. You will be amazed at the hypocrisy, guys. You know what the number one line of mockery that they used against me because I was saying that being Italian? No. The way these people, because do remember, these are like mostly these are radical leftists. Although then again, I saw someone saying, yeah, I'm a conservative and Metatron is cringe and okay, fine, who cares? But I'm saying like a lot of these are progressives, but on the radical side, not like some of you here who are like, I'm fine to disagree, not a problem. No, I'm talking the toxic. Their line of mockery is that they said, yeah, I mean, all of this caring about Charlie Kirk, I think the guy is a closeted gay. So let me get this straight. The progressive are using being homosexual as an insult? Like that's your line of attack against me? That there is no way that I could care for the guy being shot and dying? I can prove it. Yeah, I'm serious. So me caring for his family, for his wife, his children, it's because probably I was a closeted gay guy? Really? I should probably these people make no sense. Of course, it just mask off. True colors. There you go. You click their profiles. It's all they, them, flags, rainbows. But then what do? They use being gay as a mockery. They use being gay, which I don't. And yet I'm the homophobe. It's, full mask off. So I'm considering exposing them. I mean, if they see this, they might start deleting that stuff. Or maybe not, because a lot of these people are unashamed. They're not. And I thought, that's incredible. That is incredible. Like, again, I think I was giving them too much credit intellectually when I thought, well, their lines of attack are going to call me a far-right guy, they're going to call me a grifter, because I know that people are racist and that kind of stuff. But really, progressives with they, them are going to insult me by saying I'm gay? I was not, like, I was not expecting that. But yeah, and everyone was like putting likes and whatever the heck, and like, yeah, ha ha ha, you got him. He's probably gay. Yeah, it's probably, that's why he went nuts on the Charlie Kirk thing. Unbelievable. YouTube, mini minutes man subreddit hates you. Yeah, I can imagine that. I think he's quite left wing, but I have nothing against him. I disagreed on some of his takes, but in general, I like his content, and he was respectful to me, which is probably why Mini Minutes Man, so Milo Rossi's subreddit probably went ballistics. But so far, I have nothing against the guy. He was respectful to me. I'm cool with him. Not a problem. I don't have a problem with the guy. With his Reddit, well, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm sure that there are subscribers on my end that can't stand him because of politics, right? So I'm not going to hold that against him. As long as he is decent, and he was publicly, then cool, not a problem. But anyways, that was what I wanted to share with you guys, because sometimes Reddit's filth exceeds people's expectations. Anyways, let's talk about this man, shall we? Let's talk about this man, shall we? Let's check the chat. What do you guys think? Like, hate, or indifferent? So I get a feel for the chat. It's not going to change my opinions, but I get a feel for the chat. Also, because today we're kind of speaking of someone who's going to give us his opinions on Nick. And I'm really interested. On the person we're going to watch today and their take on Nick. He needs to drink less coffee. That's an interesting topic. Yeah, we'll let him know. We'll let Nick know. You hate him, you like him, dislike. This dude is gay for Stalin. The Stalin thing was weird. But apart from that, well, let me tell you guys. So, whatever you think about Nick, whatever I think about Nick, It's not necessarily his ideas, really, because I don't know him as a person. But today I want to know what Amir Odom, if I mispronounce it, I apologize profusely, thinks about Nick. Because he titled this video reacting to the most viral Nick Fuentes clips, not the recent, the most viral. Man, I'm really interested in seeing what Amir thinks, because I've seen Amir a few times and some of his takes were quite based. He seems to be very like open-minded. So I think he's good when it comes to speaking his mind, but also try to be understanding. I'm really curious. Let's see what we got. Let's go. And I'll tell you, of course, if I agree or disagree with what Nick says as well. I will say it. Let's go.
Anyone that has any genuine racial hatred, we have to just say there's something wrong with you. Anyone that has any genuine racial hatred, we have to just say there's something wrong with you.
I'm a young man. My country has been stolen from me. No, it's not the Jews. No, it's not women. No, it's not blacks. It's actually really complicated. No, it isn't at all. Jews are running society. Women need to shut the fuck up. Blacks need to be imprisoned for the most part. And we would live in paradise.
In this video, we're going to be reacting to Nick Fuentes clips, and not in a gotcha kind of way, but in a genuine, just trying to understand the things he says, why people find him to be absolutely hilarious, the top clips that I've seen, clips that I honestly agree with.
Wow. So that already, I have to give him, this guy could really, I know he has 700,000 plus here, but man, did you see his lip sync? That was professional. That was professional. Does he have a TikTok? Because that's what I'm told TikToks do. The youth do on TikTok. He did a fantastic job. Already a mixed bag at the beginning. I mean, the very first thing Nick said, I have to say, that was pretty good. But then the other one was a bit like, oh. So, but he said that on some things he agrees, on some things he disagrees. I think I'm kind of similar. But I'm so curious to see how he reacts to the part about black people. I'm very curious. Let's go. I just love the way he speaks. Him is so transparent. He really sounds like a guy that it would be fun to hang out with. I don't know if I'm the only one who Amir, I mean. Like, he really gives that vibe, if I dare use a Gen's whatever the heck alpha word. And he gives me that vibe. Be like, oh, this guy is probably fun to hang out with.
And some things to just provide more context to what he talks about and the man that he is. And like the title of this video, we're going to be debunking and help clearing, I guess, some of the lies being told about him. I'm not saying I agree with him 100% on anything.
Of course.
I don't agree with anybody 100%, but I'll always call out and point out when we're having a large group of people like this person, like Nick Fuentes, and then another large group of people saying, don't listen to that. Don't listen to that. No, we finna listen to that. Yep. We are. You keep telling us to ignore this man. You keep telling us not to like him, not to listen to him. You're only pushing people to do that. And in this video, we're going to talk about why he's honestly never bothered me the damn near decade that I've known of this man. I've known of Nick Fuentes and heard about him since 2018. Like, he's always been around. He's always been on this grind. And truth be told, I feel like he's been one of the most consistent people out there. I don't know. I don't know. I know a lot of people that know of him and have met him personally. They have their own beef with him or they don't have beef. All I'm here to say is that we're going to be reacting to some clips, ones that I love, some that I've never seen, and we're just going to give some real commentary to it all.
Okay, well, that's interesting introduction to the point. Fair. The guy sounds fair. I'm interested actually to see if he agrees with something that Nick says and I don't, or if we agree with the same things and disagree with the same kind of stuff. Maybe that's how it's going to do. Because I did tell you, when Nick speaks about the kind of treatment that white people are receiving in the West, I agree with him. He's right. But then, as I know that this upsets some of you, I don't know why, but then again, he loses me with the Hitler stuff. With that being said, I want to see how he, with his own logic and reason, explains some of the things and reacts to some of the things, and I'm curious to see if we come to the same conclusions or not.
All I'm saying is minorities are really
seen, and we're just going to give some real commentary to it all.
All I'm saying is minorities are really obnoxious, and they should just behave. Hispanics, speak English. Muslims, too loud with the Muslim call to prayer. Black people, speakerphone is not the default option. Put it to your head. Indoor voices.
Dude, this is why people like this is why, and a lot of these memes are intros to Nick as of lately. Why so many young Gen Z people just gravitate towards this man and like they find this funny. Like this is an actual funny reel. And if you've seen Instagram reels, you know how dark it can get, you know how crazy and decrepit it can get. This is funny. It's funny and it's real. It's true.
I will say that I've heard much worse than that. And if I can see, trying to be fair here, I can see someone who has never heard of the other clip, the one that we heard at the beginning, where Nick said, if you are actually racist, there is something wrong with you. So let's imagine for a moment, which I agree, if we take that one out of context, someone never heard that and only heard the one we just watched now, I can see how some people might think this guy is racist or he hates people that are like minorities. But once you have the context of the previous message, then I'm starting to think, is he being funny? So which one is it? And so let's see what else he tells us. Let's go. I mean, the fact that a lot of Hispanics don't learn English is true. As someone who had to pick up English myself as a second language, it is true. So there's nothing racist with that statement.
And I will tell you this as plainly as possible.
Okay.
I don't want to live around black people. I just don't. It would be irresponsible if I had a wife and kids to live near black people. It just would be.
Hear me out. I'm gonna find this reel and I'm gonna put it up next because it reminded me of that before I say what I'm about to say. Because what I'm about to say is that he's right. I mean, it's a meme, but it's like low-key real. It's why a lot of people move.
I'm interested to see how he describes this. Personally, no, I don't have a problem living near black people, so I disagree with Nick. With that being said, I would have a problem living with ghetto. So if you put next to me, I'm just going to be real about this. If right next to my house, you put like a family that like, they're black, African American, and then, or black Americans. I mean, the term African American is kind of weird. What does that make my son European American? Whatever. And like on Sunday, I see them all dressed up. They're going to church. I can see the wife is a teacher. The husband is a lawyer. Am I going to have a problem living near black people in that context? No. But if they are ghetto, yes, I don't want to live near them. And it would be a lie if I didn't say that. So to me, it's more social than ethnic in that sense. And so I would disagree with Nick with the broad statement. But then again, it's a clip. So imagine that after the end of the clip, he actually says this. Then I don't disagree with him. So at the end of the day, it's important. That's why I say it's very important to not just listen to clips if you want to be fair. Anyways, let me see how he's going to respond to that. Being black.
Move away from the hood and like they move away from all that.
Yeah, sorry.
Because what I'm about to say is that he's right. I mean, it's a meme, but it's like low-key real. It's why a lot of people move away from the hood and like they move away from all that and they want to go in like a nice neighborhood that has less black people, because in large part, a lot of black people just don't know how to act, and it's not a pleasant experience. And before someone out there watching this video, oh my gosh, that's so racist. I mean, why would you say that? I've seen so many reels and so many jokes and TikToks of other black creators like saying the same thing, because it's real. It's recognized even within the black community.
You know, that's so interesting to hear him say this. And already someone calling him racist for saying that he, not even Nick, I'm saying him. If people call him racist because he's saying this about other black people, that's an impossibility. You cannot be racist against your own race. In fact, that's why even when it comes to white people, right, anyone can be racist towards anyone on the other ethnic side, right? So a black person can be racist towards white people. I don't care what progressives say. And likewise, a white person, of course, can be racist towards black people. Add Asian, add whatever you want. Everyone can be racist towards anyone. And if they bring up systemic, it's nonsense. It's an excuse. It's a justification. With that being said, is a white person who hates white people and constantly speaks horribly about white people racist? No. They're traitors, but they're not racists. They're scum, but they're not racists. At least that's how I see it. And so likewise, he could say whatever the heck he wants about other black people because he's black, so it doesn't make him racist. It could make him wrong if you disagree with him. I haven't got a clue. I wasn't brought up in a black neighborhood, so I'll listen to him. In fact, if you are one of my left-wing viewers and you're offended by what he's saying, at that point I would say, but shouldn't we listen to someone who is black and was brought up black in America and understands what it means? So no, I'm open to listening to him, whether what he's telling me about black communities is good or bad. Not everything needs to be, oh, that's offensive. Who cares? I'm here to learn from the man. So at this point, I think whatever your political position is, let's be open-minded and let's listen to the point that he's trying to draw. And that's what I would say. All right, tell us. Why is it the way it is?
Let me find this. Here's one. This one says property value is going up when you see white people walking their dog at night.
Have a good one.
What does that entail? That entails your property value is going down when you live around black people. Let me find another one. POV, when you move to an all-white neighborhood and other black people start moving in. So yeah, it's a real thing not wanting to necessarily live near black people because we know how the culture acts and we know how it is and we know what goes down. And I know so many friends and family members who have experienced this, who've been in a nice neighborhood, then they get black neighbors and it's just a stereotypical black neighbors and it just doesn't work out. And it's real. It's relatable.
To say that every
Yeah, so I will double down on I appreciate him explaining to me this. I will double down. For me personally, is most connected to whether they are ghetto or whether they are a good family. And in fact, I don't know if we're going to speak about racial profiling as well as one of the kind of spicy topics. So I'll wait to see if that comes up. If not, I'll bring it up myself. Let's see what else Nick is going to say. Yeah. I don't think I think the points that were presented in a way that makes sense.
say that every black person is violent. It's not to say that every black person is the same way.
Okay. Good.
Thank you.
But we watch the news. We read the papers. When you drive downtown in Chicago, you know who you got to look out for and worry about when you're thinking about whether you're going to get carjacked, when you're worried about catching a stray bullet, when you're worried about who's going to pull up on the side of the road and literally shove a rifle in your face and steal your iPhone or shoot you point blank, execution style, in Lincoln Park. We know who's doing it.
We know.
I don't want to live near them. I don't want to be near them. They make me nervous.
What are you supposed to say to that? Because you really can't refute anything that he said. All the most dangerous things that happened in Chicago happened at the hands of other black people. So on one end, I'm being told by liberals like, oh, Amir, the white man bad, you need to fear the white man, Black Lives Matter, stick with the blacks. But if I'm looking at the hardcore experience, it's the black people making it difficult to even just exist. So again, another meme, but like the meme is like, oh, you're my real estate agent. But like, it's relatable, it's honest, it's real, it's transparent. And people gravitate towards this because there's no sugarcoating. Like, there's no bullshit with it.
Yeah,
no, it's not.
Yeah, so the fact that Nick does, whatever you want to say about Nick Fuentes, he does not sugarcoat anything. And I think that is the reason why he's popular, because he's popular. There is no, whether you can hate Nick Fuentes and absolutely despise anything he says. As I say, for me, it's a case by case. But you can't refute the fact that he's popular. So I like that the approach that he has towards this, apart from the fact that he's clearly showing that he's very open-minded and he has a thick skin, but it's also the fact that he's trying to understand in an analytical way why he's popular. And he's telling us probably one of the reasons why he's popular is because basically he's the exact opposite of political correctness at this point. He doesn't care, and he just states what he thinks is the fact. When it comes to the idea of racial profiling, for me, if I'm walking down a street with my wife, and and if I see, let's imagine, a bunch of like hood people from the hood with the hoodies on, whatever, and they're black, they look ghetto, they speak ghetto, we change road. But as I was saying, on the same note, the reason why I wouldn't necessarily make it 100% racial is because, once again, if I'm walking around and I see a lawyer with a briefcase and he's black, well dressed, glasses, with the phone, talking about business, I don't feel threatened by that man at all. So to me, it's not just an ethnic thing. It is a connection with social aspects of it. That's what I think. But then again, if you disagree, let me know. Let's continue.
No, it's not the Jews. No, it's not women. No, it's not blacks. It's actually really complicated. No, it isn't at all. Jews are running society. Women need to shut the up. Blacks need to be imprisoned for the most part. And we would live in paradise. It's that simple. It's literally that simple. This show I talk a lot.
Holy shit.
Guy's a good sport.
That is my
though.
favorite clip
He's a good
I've
sport.
ever seen of that man. That is my favorite clip. It is so funny. It is so funny. And that is one of the most famous clips that's ever went around. It's one of the most quotable ones.
I don't want for black people to get in prison. Just wanted to bet that. Just the bad ones. Likewise, for whatever it is. Like, that's one of the things that I say when you say Nick is lit. Well, good for you. I'm glad you like it, Syed. I mean, I'm not going to condemn you for it. Absolutely, that's fine. You can like whoever you want. Freedom of speech, my friend. But yeah, I have a problem. It's a similar situation when it comes to immigrants. I don't know, actually, the position of Nick Fuentes on immigration. Let me know if you know. But when it comes to me, I'm strongly against illegal immigration. I think illegal immigration is wrong and it should be blocked. No excuses. When it comes to legal immigration, I don't think there is anything wrong as long as it's not overdone, because if you do it too much, then, and also there have to be real parameters, like who are these people, background checks, make sure that they are here because they provide actual doctors and engineers, not these are doctors and engineers and then we have a bunch of imbeciles with machetes that scream Allah Akbar. No. Okay, I'm talking the real deal, the people that can contribute to society, or like someone is marrying someone from wherever the hell and they do a marriage visa and then he finds a job. I don't have a problem with that. So legal immigration is fine, but it's necessary, because if you don't immigrate through the proper channels, we can't do background checks. And so you can't distinguish, which is the key, the nutshell of what I was addressing here. We can't distinguish within the illegal immigrants which ones are really bad, rapists, murderers, violent people, and the people that are not nice, that they would be nice. Okay, but because I don't know, there's a massive question mark, I say send them all back and go through the proper channels so we can check. It's a very simple thing. But I don't think every single illegal immigrant is a murderer, or every single they're all breaking the law, every single one of them. But people that say they are all rapists, they're wrong. So likewise, I usually use this with every culture, with every situation. I look at, let's make sure that we punish the criminals and we punish them harshly. I hate it when they're like, oh no, but we need to understand. No, because mercy for the guilty is, what is it? I can't think the expression now. Mercy for the guilty is injustice to the innocent, something like that. It's cruelty to the innocent. There you go. Mercy to the guilty is cruelty to the innocent, and that's a fact. So no, it's just nonsense when people do that. Thank you. Cruelty for the innocent. Absolutely. You're like, what? This illegal immigrant, he raped a 10-year-old girl and you're still, what are we even talking about? First, he shouldn't have been there in the first place. So it's on you. He should have been out. And that's the thing. But then again, I don't want to put everyone in one basket. Let's continue.
That Nick has ever done. Because again, it's funny. Jews are running society. Women need to shut the fuck up. Blacks need to be in prison for the most part. And we would live in paradise.
I mean, women need to shut up is kind of a guy's joke anyways.
And truth be told, I mean, you're allowed to have your opinion. You're allowed to think certain things. No one's preventing you from doing it. Well, a lot of people have prevented this man from doing just that. A lot of people have prevented this man for almost a decade now from using his voice, using his platform to speak, banned off of payment platforms, at one point banned from TSA. At one point, someone even tried to, like, at his house, all for just saying things that he's allowed to say.
Yeah, that's actually one thing. I do, even though I have several points of disagreements with Nick Fuentes, and he's a little too on the extreme end when it comes to me. I'm more moderate. With that being said, I think it's wrong. People trying to off him, obviously, that's disgusting, and anyone would be happy about that. You are the problem. And when it comes to censorship, no. I mean, as long as he doesn't call for incitement to violence, ugly speech is protected speech. So even if something he says, let's say for a moment that maybe there is a sentence he said, oh, but it was humor, it was dark humor. Okay, humor is humor. But let's say there is a sentence he said and it's actual ugly speech. Fine, it's ugly. We can agree it's ugly. He's still allowed to say it. This is the United States of America. We don't live in freaking Saudi Arabia. And we don't live in communist USSR Russia. We don't live in fascist Italy. So he should be allowed to say it. And the problem is that I think the reason why Nick Fuentes is so popular right now, on the right, and it's kind of creating this split between America First and MAGA, is because we see that there is this situation where people like Destiny and people like Hassan Hamas Spiker say outrageous stuff and they get away with it. I mean, Destiny was banned from Twitch, but he still makes huge amounts of money. And Hamas Spiker can say whatever he wants and no one touches him on Twitch, and he's in fact Twitch golden boy. So my problem is, and it's not just my problem, but the problem is that not only we see a massive double standard, it's either everyone can use ugly speech, or we block everyone. But then it's not whataboutism; it's perfectly fitting. It's perfectly fitting because they're canceling him, but I didn't hear him say, let's go shoot every liberal. But Hamas Spiker said, let's go shoot every conservative. And Hamas Spiker is not getting cancelled, is getting invited. They pay him a lot of money. It's absolutely not whataboutism. And if you think it's whataboutism, go Google the definition. It is not. It's perfectly, and I'm explaining to you why people are connecting to this guy. They are connecting to Nick because they see that this is happening, and then they see people on the right that have been continuously saying we are against cancel culture, we're against censorship, we are pro First Amendment, but then they say cancel him. It's hypocritical at that point. It's hypocritical at that point, and so hypocrisy doesn't help. It just doesn't help. It's why Pam Bondi, I made an entire video against Pam Bondi. In theory, we should be on the same side. I'm a right-winger. She's a right-winger. I think she's out of her damn mind when she said, oh, people that laugh at Charlie Kirk's death, we're going to send boots on the ground, FBI, kick in your door. Are you out of your mind? If they are calling for violence, yes. But just because they are using ugly speech, you can't have government involvement. The only thing that I think is fair in that at that point is that private entities, such an employer, finds out, oh, the person I've employed is laughing at Charlie Kirk's death. I don't want him in the workforce. That's fine. But government intervention, this is not what the USA is about. That's what I think. I got something. Hey, Higashi, martial arts. So good to see you. Yo, Kyodai. Good to catch you before I spar. Fantastic. Have a good sparring session, my friend. What martial art is it again? Karate, I think. Competency test for voting. Man, aren't they trying to lower the age for voting to 16? That's crazy, by the way. That is another thing that we should talk about. I should have a discussion with Nick. I'm not against it. Believe it or not, I'm not against having a discussion with freaking Hamas Spiker either. It's just that half of the discussion would be about champagne socialism and free kaya, so I don't think he'd be interested. But just to say, yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, they want to push it. I think it's the left that wants to push to reduce the isn't Kamala Harris who wants to say, no, 16 is great for voting. Let's go. Which is nonsense. I think it's nonsense, but some people disagree with me. You know who disagrees with me? Mr. Beat. I think he was polite in his disagreement, but on X we had a little bit of a because he thinks it's based and true I mean, he's quite very left anyway, so it doesn't surprise me. But I personally think it's a trick when they try to move the voting age to 16, is because guess what? There is a lot of indoctrination that happens to the young when it comes to politics. So I see why, at school specifically. So I can see why they want to push that. But anyways, I think you should be 14 at this point. Make it 10, my friend. Make it 10. So that's what I think about. I might make a video about that. We'll see. As you see today, we're kind of jumping between historical topics, political topics, just as an answer, a response to those who say, oh, is this just a grift channel now? No, it's a freedom channel, because we love freedom here. So, yeah.
Especially like critiquing Israel, you're allowed to do that. I'm sorry. If Ben Shapiro can go on college campuses and go on tours, just ripping and railing about the black community, then Nick Fuentes can do the same thing, ripping and railing about the Jewish community. It's fair game. It's free speech and it's fair game.
He's right.
I'm not mad at it. I'm living in this country with free speech. That means free speech. Therefore, that includes a speech that I may not like or that I may find offensive, and I
like him.
Cool. That's what I sign up for. Because the second we start mandating speech and we can't say this, we can't say that, who controls that? Who puts who has that control to say, well, you can say this and you can't say that? Because there's a lot of things that people find offended that other people don't. The same people talking about, oh my gosh, the right is so racist and misogynistic and homophobic and transphobic. Okay, well then why are there Republican trannies, Republican gay people, Republican black people, and Republican women?
Yeah, I think it's a fringe in the right that is actually those things, because to be honest, I get that myself. Believe it or not, I do get the occasional guy on Twitter that whenever I speak about something, and then we clearly both on the right, he's probably a lot more right than me, but then he comes and tells me, you're Sicilian, adds an insult and says, you'll never be an American, we don't want you here, go back to your country. And I'm like, you do realize that I'm literally your grandfather, you absolute imbecile? Like, I'm a European who's relocating to America, I'm your grandfather. Anyways. Yeah, there is a fringe in the right that is homophobic, racist, transphobic, and all that stuff. Problem is that what the left does is that usually they take that, they turn it into a blob, and whether you be like a moderate conservative, whether you be a right-winger in general, whether you be far-right, alt-right, MAGA, non-MAGA, libertarian with right-wing ideas, everyone is racist and homophobic, and that's a very dishonest thing to do. But it is true that some people are like that, absolutely. Yeah. So there is that. Wrong European, Anglos as his grandparents, not Italians. Maybe, it will surprise you. Some of these, they are all about, the Benjamin Franklin idea on who is white and who is not. Then you look and their grandfather's name is like Esposito. So there is that. Anyways, so that happens, but please.
Who controls what? And that's the problem with the censorship. It's the things like this, it's the quotable stuff and how just like raw this man is, and that makes him so relatable and just real and funny to a lot of people out there. Like a lot. People underestimate how much power this man has and how much pull and how many like followers he gets. I genuinely feel like you ask the average man under like 30, I'll go 35 and under, who Nick Fuentes is. They know, because they're tapped in, and a lot of people understand his language. Even when like you do a deep dive like we're doing this video and we're watching the clips, you can see when he's being like serious, when he's being soft, when he's being funny, and when he's being memey, because it's meme culture. And we're gonna see throughout this video what a meme is, what it isn't, when he's being serious, when he's not. So like I said, we'll get into that later, but what we do know is not meme culture is life when real shit happens, especially if you get injured. But thankfully,
okay, maybe that's one thing that I'm struggling with and he's good at. I sometimes struggle to understand, is that a meme that I'm not aware of because I'm not consistently online? Is that a joke, maybe a misunderstanding? Or is that serious talk? I think sometimes I'm not very good at figuring that one out, also because when it comes to meme, there are so many things that I hear and I'm like, I haven't got a clue what that means. I guess I spend too much time with the ancient sources to understand modern internet memes. Same? Okay, you can relate? Great. So, I do have a channel that is only history, by the way. I gave the link earlier on during the stream, but I can give it again, because this, as I say, is a variety channel. I speak about anything. The beginning of the stream was all about Roman history, by the way, which will be posted as its own, edited as its own video. But if you just want history, there is this Metatron history, only history videos. I post a lot, and so it's always there as an option. If you are like, nah, but I miss your history videos, and maybe the next one will be in 5 uploads, fine. You can check out this video, this channel. I made it for you guys. This channel exists for you, 100%. Just made it with you guys in mind, because I listen to your ideas, your opinions, and want to make sure that you... Okay, is this a sponsor now? Let's have a look. We all support you, Metatron. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you. We appreciate that. Okay, let's continue, because again, I like this guy.
If you do, you can check out Morgan & Morgan, America's largest legal law firm. Everything is free unless you win your case, which that alone blows my mind. But 2, their lawyers, they don't play. Someone got offered $20,000, but after they started working with Morgan & Morgan, they got $120 million. This person right here got offered $16,000 pre-trial, but after working with Morgan & Morgan, they said, nah, I'm gonna need you to add a couple zeros to that. And I get it. A lot of us haven't had to go through something like this, but we all know fighting a big company means having a big law firm by your side. And if you end up working with Morgan & Morgan, they will fight to get you every penny that you deserve. It only takes a few minutes to see if you have a case. You can do that by going to forthepeople.com/Amir. As you see here, you can receive your free case evaluation on a multitude of case types. And remember, when you hire Morgan & Morgan, you're not hiring just a lawyer, you're getting a dedicated legal team. Case investigators, paralegals, and a customer case specialist all focus on maximizing your settlement. So if you ever got seriously injured, or I hope you're okay.
Yeah, Morgan is huge. I know, even I know of them. It's crazy. Good for you, man. Good for you that he got sponsored by Morgan & Morgan. I'm glad when money goes to good people, and this guy seems pretty cool, very chill.
You're injured right now, do know that your case could be worth millions, and you're only a few clicks away from finding out and changing your life forever. You can start your claim now with Morgan & Morgan by going to forthepeople.com/Amir, or scanning the QR code here on the screen, or tapping the link below. Morgan & Morgan, Amir, America's largest injury law firm.
Click Elmhurst McDonald's at like 2 a.m. and it was straight up a non-verbal Hispanic that didn't speak English. And that's exactly what it sounded like. It was like, and I was like, are you kidding me? I just had to kind of go with it. I was like, yeah, number 1 with a Diet Coke and 5-piece McNuggets. Okay, thanks a lot. See you at the next window. That's what it was. And I was like, okay, so we're fucked. And we're fucked.
You guys, you don't understand. Like, this is a meme, but this is more the funny side, but real. Like, this, when I'm watching this, it's like I'm talking to my bros on Discord. It's like I'm talking to my good friends. It's so funny and relatable, because listen, nothing irritates me more than being in this country and you don't know a lick of English.
Absolutely. I mean, he's right. This is America. You need to learn English. I know it's not easy. I went through it. You know what I mean? I did do the thing where I was brought up with another language, and I decided, you know what? How do they say it? It's a matter of respect. It's not just a matter of professionalism, as I guess I agree with Nick in this situation. In a professional environment, it is unbelievable that we live in America and you have someone who doesn't speak English. You have to, at least the McDonald's English. You don't need to be able to explain to me astronomy, but you need to explain to me French fries and ketchup or mustard, sir. As a Mexican, I agree. I love that. I love that in chat right now. That's what I mean. I love when people are good sports, by the way. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. And thank you for writing it in English, by the way. Because this is America. I mean, if I moved to Mexico City, I would speak Spanish. Absolutely. I would be like, hey, how do you say? ¿Cómo estás? Buenos días. That's what I would do. So, yeah, that's correct. And, yeah, in America, you got to learn English. You've got to put in the work. 1, for respect. 2, for professionalism. And it is what it is.
Why the hell you here? See, I'm about to crash out. I can't go to Paris and expect somebody to speak English. I can't go to Tokyo, Japan, and expect them to go from Hakinakura to, like, English for me. No. I feel like if you're working somewhere, you should be speaking the native language of the town, of the country that you're in. Like, there was one time I went to Miami. I was so mad. I was in Miami, which, granted, I know it's Miami, but I was like in Brickell. I was like downtown in the area, and I don't know what ice cream shop I was at, but I was at this ice cream shop, and no one knew a lick of English. No one. And they were looking at me like I was the problem. And I'm sorry, I'm in America. Why are we not knowing English? There was another, this happens so much. It happens so much. That's why this is relatable, and it's funny because it happens to a lot of people. I ordered DoorDash, and this had the audacity to call me talking about he lost. Well, he didn't say he was lost, but I could tell it was like meow meow. Like you couldn't hear. It was no English, but he was lost. Probably because he can't read street signs. And how you gonna call me asking for directions and you don't know lick of English? Now I paid for this food. I'm hungry. I want my chicken, and it can't get to my house because you don't know English. Because you're in America. And you,
he's right. It is what
enrages me. Like Nick said, it's just countries. Like that was one of the most like, ooh, there was another one.
Before the other one, because I'm actually enjoying the storytelling here, but because he's very charismatic. Yeah, no, I mean, it should be a requirement for employment. B1, at least, in English, certified. It should be a requirement for employment for a lot of jobs, unless you are like washing dishes, I guess, or if you are like doing a lot of blue collar jobs. For white collar jobs, let's not even talk. But for blue collar jobs, I think it depends, because you could be really skilled, right? You know, I respect people that do blue collar jobs, by the way, because maybe you're just moving things around and you're operating technical machinery. If you're doing a good job, you're doing a good job. But if it's anything that has to do with customer interaction, B1, if not B2, certified English, it should be an absolute requirement in America. In America. Could you imagine, like, going to Italy, you don't speak Italian, you're not going to be employed anywhere.
Oh my gosh, there's another one. This was back in,
let's
this was
go.
early on. This was back in, this was 2019. This was, this was July 2019. July 2019, I was in San Francisco. And I was going to the hotel that was next to SFO. So I'm in my Uber. Buddy knew not a lick of English. All Spanish. Hola. I'm like, hola, ¿cómo estás? Like, I know a little bit, like, un poquito español, but not a lot. But I'm in the Uber and he dropping me off at the airport. And I'm trying to tell him, no, look at your GPS, look at the phone. Like, I'm in the hotel next to the airport, but he didn't know English. So I had to flag somebody off the side of the road. I'm sorry. If you are in a business in America, you are in America, you should at least know English. If you want to speak to Spanish to somebody, go for it. Somebody else in that restaurant speaking Spanish and y'all speaking Spanish, that's cool. But I feel like if we're in America, there should be a basis of what America is. At the bare minimum, a shared language. There's nothing wrong with that.
That's actually normal everywhere. That's normal everywhere. Even chat is saying 100%. Yeah, because that's normal. Like you go anywhere you go. When I was in Japan, I spoke, it is employer's fault, you're right. But it's also political. I'm just going to say it. It's also DEI fault, if we are really going to go into it. Because you're putting ethnicity above competence in a lot of scenarios as a sort of hiring requirement, which is a problem. It should be meritocratic. It should be meritocratic. It is what it is. With that being said, I agree with him. When I was in Japan and I entered a bank, it's not like I could use English. I had to say, こんにちは、すいません、ちょっと質問がありますけれども. And I understand, like, not everyone is a linguist, fine. But then maybe there are jobs that you can't do. It's like there are jobs that I can't do. I don't know. I'm very interested in programming, but I can't do that job. Why? Because I don't know the programming language. It would be like making me into a programmer if I don't know freaking, I don't know, C++ or Python. I don't know that, so I can't do that job. So there are a lot of jobs where, particularly when it comes to customer interaction, you need to know the language. I'm sorry, this is America. At this point, I agree with him. And I liked when he said, as a foreigner who lives in America, I liked when he said, maybe people are speaking to each other in Spanish. Cool, that's cool. But if you are in a professional environment, you need to know English. Otherwise, okay. This shows that he is open-minded, because there are people that say this is America, meaning you cannot use your own language. But I mean, if my cousin comes to visit me and he doesn't speak English, I need to be able to speak Italian to him, not as a way to sort of exclude you from the conversation. Although then again, if I don't know you, I mean, It's not none of your business anyways. And I will be polite and translate when it's a situation where I think you are also there. We're sitting around it. It's different. But there are people, and objectively they are in England as well. Not just an American thing. In England, that happened, that sometimes maybe you use a little Italian or you use a little French, and then the English are like, this is England. We speak English here. Fine, I'm not speaking to you. With that being said, so he's clearly not that category, that type of person, but he is just saying this is right. Like, if it's a professional environment and I'm ordering my damn chicken, you need to speak English. I agree with him 100%. Thank you, Samurai X, for subscribing on Twitch. I appreciate that. My workplace has training modules in English and Spanish. Accidentally clicked Spanish once and passed based on recognition. Oh, that's cool. That's very cool. Yeah. You know a few words in Japanese. Yari, that's the spear, and ashigaru, you need an A here, but yeah, pretty cool. Let's go.
Open for like in that airport, having all the different languages, sure.
Yeah.
Cool.
Absolutely.
But again, if we are in America and you are doing business in America and you don't know English, that's a problem. You need to be paying your taxes and you need like a English test. We need something.
I agree.
Because their country's just gone. What is a country anymore? Come on, what is a country anymore? Because you know what? You travel to Italy because you know what to expect. You know in your head what you envision Italy to be. If you right now book a flight to Italy and you land in Japan or Tokyo, you're going to be salty because it's not what you expected. You expected Italy because Italy is a country and Italy has its culture. Italy is Italy.
Yeah.
So why is that fine? But it's not fine to have that same expectation for America when we're actively losing America before our eyes. It would be confusing and it would be upsetting, which I'm sure it's happening now. But if I go to Paris and instead of oui, want a baguette, it's like, I don't even know what language. Like Africans click-clacking and we got Palestinians or whatever like doing the 5 a.m. calls to prayer in Paris. It's like to a certain point, it's okay to call out when it's expected for a country to have a culture.
Yeah, and also I think, so what he's now addressing is multiculturalism. And the thing is that what I find strange sometimes is that for some reasons the West is the only place on the planet that is expected to be multicultural anyways, because I don't see people expecting Saudi Arabia to also have Christianity as well as Islam, as well as Buddhism, as well as Western ideas, as well as Western cars, as well as Western concepts of that everyone needs to speak English. I don't see people expecting that of the Near East, expecting that of the Far East, expecting that of Africa. For some reasons, it's only the West that needs to be multicultural. And then again, I do like a certain aspect of multiculturalism in the sense that when they are good people, I enjoy speaking to people that come from all over. But I don't enjoy justifying people that hate us, everything we believe, our culture, do not assimilate, do not learn anything, don't speak the language, come here and, if you hate the West, stay out of the West at that point. For some reason, and that's the same with immigration. No one has ever could you even Google a single individual who has advocated for no boundaries and free flow of people and pro illegal immigration in Congo, in Tunisia, I don't know, in Iraq? It's always the West. Everyone else, oh no, that's fine, sovereign individuals, of course, you've got because every country has immigration law, but it's only the Pope is here telling us, oh, it's so bad, you need to love the immigrants, you need to love everyone, says the Pope, behind his, how many meters, 12 meters, 15 meters tall walls around the Vatican.
And I'm sorry, I expect people here working in America to know English. That's just where I'm at.
That's the new thing they're doing. So not, I don't know. I think it's just over at this point. The guy didn't even speak English. He just looked at me. I pulled up to the window and he was just like, he was wearing a t-shirt, wasn't even in the uniform, no visor. Didn't have the McDonald's visor, no red shirt, just wearing a t-shirt. Nonverbal, didn't even say, he's just like, took the payment, gave me the food. I was like, okay.
Yo. He's funny. Like, I haven't seen a lot of this. This is so, it feels like I'm just chatting with a bro. It feels like And I think that's why he's so relatable to so many people out there. And people just get it because on one end, he's talking politics, but this feels like I get that this is like a story time with his bros. That's it. It's a story time with his bros, and it's funny as shit.
Anyone that has any genuine racial hatred, we have to just say there's something wrong with you. I understand not wanting to live around black people.
Valid.
I get it. And I understand when you see what black people do, some of them, I understand hating that. But this whole like autistic racial, like actual racialism, actual racial militant hatred, it is like a freak show. You
I appreciate that. I agree with that. I agree with that.
know?
Well, here's the thing, though. So again, I don't know. I don't judge people until I investigate them thoroughly. So I need to investigate Nick Fuentes more thoroughly because, to be honest, for what I've watched of Destiny, I've watched like a 15th of Nick Fuentes. So I need to keep investigating. But what you're telling me here is, let me see. There is something that I read. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, everyone is accused of being anti-Semitic these days anyways. Everyone. So that's one of those. Honestly, genuinely did not expect that from Nick Fuentes. Me neither, for the way he's been depicted. So I agree with what he said now. I do. So there is that. But look, Nick Fuentes is a race realist. He thinks black people are not even people and shouldn't have rights. What is this guy doing praising him? Okay, but that's what you say. But what I just heard from Nick Fuentes is that racism is wrong. So who am I to believe? That's the situation. And then again, I like him. I like that he's very open-minded. And I have disagreed with some of the things Nick Fuentes said when it comes to racial profiling a minute ago. But what he just said now doesn't sound racist to me. So it is a little confusing, isn't it? So I would say at that point, maybe let's continue to watch and see what we can figure out.
You know, because that comes from an emotional place. It is one thing to say that, like, there are whites and blacks, and black people clearly are not on our level of development, and that's why they're struggling. That's why they're not integrating well, and that's why there are these problems. Like, it's one thing to say that clinically.
I wonder what he means by level of development. So I would have to go, like, does he mean, if he means technological or like as civilizations, then he's correct. The West is clearly at a higher level. But when it comes to, I don't know if he's one of those that talk about genetics, though, because that could be a little, we'll have to see. I don't know. I can't understand it from this clip. I would ask him that question, by the way, directly. Is it a matter of education? Is it because education is connected to average income? So there's that. And also, one more thing. People often speak about black people and white people, but only in the American context. Maybe we should kind of expand that a little bit. But let's continue. You say he's talking about racial cultures. The race isn't the problem, rather the culture. Yeah, that I can see. And then again, even in Asia, you have some Asian countries like Japan, extremely forward. But then you have other countries, it's like it's a mess. Like India is a mess. It is. Not all of India is the same, I understand. I know, my cousin was born in India. She speaks the language. She has explained to me that, like, India is massive. So when you say a broad statement about India, you have to consider that might apply to a still large region, but maybe not to another region. I understand, but it is a mess. In general, I'm speaking broadly, but India is a mess. Japan is like the freaking Germany of Asia. So it kind of depends. Let's continue.
And it's one thing to see what they do and get frustrated by it and get angry about it. It's a whole other thing to have this like persistent like antipathy for vast groups of people.
Agreed.
That is just like a low IQ, a dysfunctional thing.
And this is when we know he's being honest and real. This is a clear representation of his opinions on actual racism. There's a difference in like telling racist jokes with your bros or like making generalizations like he's saying, but there's another to like actually like vehemently hate black people,
Yeah.
which we know he doesn't, as he's someone whose biggest inspiration is a black man. Ye, formerly known as Kanye West, worked with him, went around the world with him. Like, we know he doesn't actually like hate black people, but that, like, it's different. There's a lot of nuance, there's context.
Yeah, so when it comes to this, to what I just listened right now, of course, I don't know if he means it or not because I'm not in his head, but let's say for a moment that I'm going to take it at face value. By the context of what has been explained up to this point, I wouldn't call him a racist. Would I call him a Nazi, though? Well, that's the thing. He did say he's Team Hitler. He did say that he thinks Hitler was cool. So is he not a neo-Nazi at that point? And I wouldn't use it the way the left does to be like, oh, he's a Nazi, so cancel him. No, I would say he's a Nazi, so I disagree. Because I can't stand Nazism. Although then again, he did say that he admires Stalin, so does that make him a communist as well? Can he be both a communist and a Nazi at the same time? I don't know. You'll have to explain that to me. Yeah, I know he says that about Stalin exactly, which is another, I hate Stalin. I think Stalin was an absolute monster. If Nick gained power, it'd be a authoritarian fascist. I don't know, how authoritarian is he? We'll have to see, because again, I want to see, maybe, although everyone is a fascist these days, me included apparently. So who knows? I don't know. Is he appropriate to call him a Nazi? For me, yes. Because he did say what he said. But I will ask him at this point. I would ask him, like, hey, Nick, are you a neo-Nazi? See what he says. That's what I would say. But when it comes to calling him a racist, if we are to take this in good faith, he doesn't sound like a racist to me. It sounds like an edgelord at this point. And I can still disagree with some of his positions on black people, as I did, but I wouldn't call him a racist.
Because to say like, oh, don't put me near black people, I don't want to live near black people. When I hear that, hello, as a black man, I don't immediately think racist. I immediately think they see what it's like for the average person living next to a black person.
That's probably you,
and
though.
For a lot of people,
because you're very open-minded.
It's not a good time. So that's that. But it's examples like that where you just know. You can just tell when he's being for real, when he's not. And this is a clip that I have seen, and it's like, yeah, he's spot on with that. Let's just see what else he has to say about this.
Okay. And everything, oh, well, but that doesn't make you mad. It's like, yeah, it makes me mad. I'm not filled with like racial hatred for an entire group.
Okay.
Even the Jews, as much as justified as it would be. No. But even like I do actually like a lot of Jewish people. Like I even though Jewish people have ruined my life in many ways and like they do horrible things, I don't have a hatred for them as a group, and I could say nice things about them, you know? But that comes from being a Christian. That's the kind of peace and that's the kind of disposition that you can only have if you love God, if you truly have love in your heart for people. And it's no coincidence. It's always these pagans that harbor this intense animosity all the time.
Which to that point, and this is something I have seen, especially after the passing of Charlie Kirk. If I'm just looking at my life and all the people that I know and like friends of friends, I'm looking at like a big map of like political leanings and like how they're like moral goodness. Most of my friends who are agnostic, who are open to the idea of a God or just doesn't know or believes in a God or a higher power or afterlife, they're more often good people. They just are. And when I think about the people that I know in my life that are atheist or really close with atheists, just there's no God or like even going down a satanic route, they just have no care. They're just mean-spirited people.
I mean, not every atheist. I think with atheists, I can't stand the 2012 r/Redditor type of person that thinks that I don't know what the heck happened in their lives, but they really have animosity and hatred towards us Christians. Yeah, I can't, like when I meet one of those, it's immediate block. But then again, I know a lot of atheists that are they would make really good Christians. I'm just going to say it. So with atheists, it's kind of a case by case. With agnostics, not sure. Pagans, I got a pagan friend. Is that like the new way? Do you know how when you say I've got a black friend or I got a gay friend and they tell you, no, that's what racists say? I wonder if what would that be? Like, I've got a pagan friend. Is that what Christian nationalists say at this point?
Very mean. And that's something that's real and relatable too. And like, even he said he doesn't hate all Jewish people, but he has a certain love in his heart for everybody. It's just when we bring in the nuances, when we bring in the understanding, we can sit and actually have like a real conversation. And again, it's ones like these that I have all the time with all my guy friends. It's just blunt.
That was insane, dude. Brett Cooper comes out and says, "Go back to Israel. Go back to Israel where you belong." I was like, whoa, Brett. I was like, Brett. I put my hair behind my ear like Radio Rebel. I was like, Brett, oh my goodness. I was like, she's really good. I was like, I did the Allison Stoner from Camp Rock.
I imagine this is about Ben Shapiro, isn't it? Maybe it's about Ben Shapiro. This dude sounds gay. Not saying that he is, but he sounds like it. Who? Amir? I think he is gay, yeah. I think. I don't know. But anyways, that's 20 minutes in. It's a 58-minute video, guys. So for the reaction, I'm going to leave it at that. But I enjoyed his reaction. I like him a lot. And I definitely have to look more into Nick Fuentes to really understand how much of his ideology, like exactly what the heck this guy believes. Because it's so difficult to figure it out. I kind of want to see that. Anyways, I'll give you a link to the original video if you want to keep watching it on your own. But I want to thank Amir Odom for being very open-minded, for explaining to us. I did appreciate the section when he was explaining to us about like the way other Black Americans feel about living in these areas that are kind of low. Maybe low class, is that an expression? I'm not sure. But I liked that they explained stuff to us, and I have to say, this was a very interesting video to watch. Definitely have to keep watching. But anyways, I think with reacts, I'm going to call it a night. Am I going to continue the stream a little longer? Or maybe it's kind of time to go to, not sleep, but maybe to go make some pasta. That could be an idea. Let me read chat a little longer. And then I think I will call it a night. But for now, let me see what you guys are up to. Very cool stream, though. Very good stream. Fuentes is gay? Well, who cares anyways? I don't know. I don't think he is. But even if, who cares? I don't particularly care at that point. Why are messages moderated? It's just Twitch. Twitch moderates everything. Like you put a word and Twitch thinks it's offensive, they're gonna moderate it. I can reinstall it. Like I can click allow. What's the difference between a racist and an edgelord that makes racist point? And a racist is someone who actually means every single thing they say that is racial. Instead, an edgelord might be someone who specifically chooses dark humor for clicks. But then it doesn't actually mean every single thing they say. That's what I would say the difference is between someone I would classify as an edgelord and someone who's actually racist. A fling with Destiny. Ooh, that would be crazy. That would be insane, wouldn't it? Automod is an overzealous prude with a dirty mind. You're absolutely right. Yeah, he is. He has some Italian in him, Fuentes, and some Mexican, obviously, the surname. Yeah. Hey, thank you so much, Samur Ig X, for gifting 5 tier 1 subs on Twitch. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. Very generous of you. Got gifted. There we go. So you don't have to worry about the ads. That's a good thing about Twitch subscription. Did I say membership? I meant subscription. It's confusing sometimes, isn't it? I love how I just highlighted Mexican here for whatever reason. Yeah. Close enough. Yeah, I agree. Close enough. Yeah, I think what I would like to do, by the way, talking about Twitch as well, I would like to, thank you for the best wishes. I would like to play some games, but probably like tomorrow. If I'm not too tired, I'd like tomorrow to do some gaming, or maybe the day after tomorrow, we'll see. I will let you know, though, on the community tab, I'm going to start advertising when I go live just for gaming, because when I go live just for gaming, I usually don't do multi-streaming, or if I do, I multi-stream with the gaming channel, Metatron's Protectorate, rather than the main, because I don't want to clog the system with like my main channel with a lot of gaming streams. But what I'm going to do is that I'm going to start telling you when I'm live on Twitch/Protectorate on the community tab, meaning posts on this channel, but also on X if you follow me there, so that you can come and check it out. I will watch ads for you, Metatron. I appreciate that. But yeah, no, thank you guys for being here. And I think what games I play? Oh, it depends. Yeah, I did play Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I play RPG, I play horror, I play RTS, I play Civilization 4X. I play all sorts of games. A lot of retro, a lot of vintage games. Like I did a whole playthrough of Centurion, Defender of Rome. So yeah, no, it's good fun. It's good fun. But anyways, yeah, I think I'm going to call it a night, guys, because it's been a few hours now. How many hours? 3 hours and a half. I think that's good for a stream. But thank you so much for all the donation, and thank you for subscribing Elvent with Prime. I appreciate that. And thank you for being here, guys. Success is always a byproduct of you, and it's very much appreciated. And I think I'm gonna call it a night. Go to spend some time with the wife, make some pasta, play some games, maybe. But thank you so much. Have a good one. Good night, guys. Thank you again. Ciao, ciao, ciao. Just double checking. Okay, good stuff. All right. Bye.